What's going on? 6:02. Good morning. Back in the 104.5 The Zone studios. I am Robert Walsh, and guys, we did it. We made it. Football is finally on our televisions once again, and I don't care if it's the Hall of Fame game. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Bears and Texans. Chicago head coach Matt Eberflus noted that you might not see any Bears starters, but that is perfectly fine with me. I am content with a little Tyson Bagent action tonight. Titans offensive coordinator Nick Holtz spoke to the media yesterday before practice about the progression of the offense after the first padded practice.
If you look back and, kind of when we went back and watched the film, the beginning of practice kind of really felt that way. It really felt like the defense started faster than us, which we talked about as a unit. Hey, we got to start fast, meet their intention. They kind of brought those, especially those first 4 or 5 plays, and then it really kind of settled in.
And some notes from around the league. The need for pass rusher continues to rise. Cowboys working out some pass rushers today in the wake of the Sam Williams knee injury, including veteran Carl Lawson, who played in Cincinnati for Mike Zimmer, and the Rams starting guard Jonah Jackson, a big free agent acquisition who was spotted on the sidelines yesterday with a left arm in a swing, expected to miss the preseason due to a bruised scapula, but has a chance to return for the regular season versus his former team, the Detroit Lions. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Kicking off the show on RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will in studio. Once again, kicking off your Thursday morning, 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, our producer. I'm Will Bowling, streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch.
Twitch, please.
In studio once again, the Inside Cats back inside.
We are.
How are we doing?
The cats are good, though. It's nice to get a break from a little bit of humidity and heat.
Yeah.
Get some normal temperature. I'm not complaining about the cold. Is that not wild or what?
That's great. That's a great development.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it'll last for about 10 minutes.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad we're not out there today because it is muggy and thick.
Yes, it is.
That's the same thing I said to Will getting out my truck. I was like, yeah, it is thick outside. Like, that's the only words you can use to describe how it feels right now.
Or some women,
Yeah, I mean, that depends. I mean,
I can say that.
Some might like that.
I can say that all day.
6:05 in the morning.
Mine's getting up right now. How you doing, baby?
Some say my mom's thick,
I like to call them doolies, man, when they got a little something back there. You see what I'm saying?
Call them a duel. You call them. See, I like to call them dragons because of that wagon they are dragging.
Oh my goodness!
Way to
dump
go!
truck.
Good morning, dump. Bag it up and dump it. I'm telling you. Good morning, then. Way to get
It's 8:05 or it's 6:05.
No, it is not.
It ain't 8:05.
Time to shake back, baby.
Oh, God.
May I be the first to congratulate every one of you and tell you that football's back.
It is. Got a game tonight.
Football.
And 3, 2, Bert's gonna hit it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Football.
We made it. We made it, baby.
Football.
I'm glad you got it. Did you get that's a recordable verse right there? Let's do it.
Did he shut it down?
Yeah, he shut it down as soon as you went to hit your tempo.
What a savvy producer that is.
This the last Thursday weekend. We will be, moving forward.
Yeah.
Rest of the year, we got football.
Yeah, preseason game next weekend for the Titans.
The entire, up until the weekend. Yeah, we're good now.
Every weekend until February, we have football to watch.
We do.
Starting now.
If I'm not mistaken, Canadian football starts up
I don't
soon,
care. Yeah, I said football
What's
to watch.
that?
Hey, y'all should have started that 2 months ago if you wanted somebody to watch. Don't be doing that at August.
We
do not care, as Mike Tomlin would say.
Stop, like you just out here watching Canadian football in your spare time.
He's like breaking down play. I could just see him
I
locked in a
would.
room like Peyton Manning breaking down film.
If it was on in June or July, I would 100% want it.
They
Yes.
just start training camp. Yeah, it's like they are in it.
Well, they should have been telling Will to talk about it before then, and I might have paid attention.
Take that, Will Bowling. This is how you blame Will for that one, man. I am glad to be back in the studio, though. It is it's fun going out there, but the comforts of the studios is where it's at
always
too.
nice.
The preseason for Canadian football started on May 20th. They had been playing
Okay.
regular season games since June 6th.
You're the
been
one who's
going.
supposed to keep me abreast to all these things adjacent to football.
Yeah, things that matter in football. This does not matter. With respect to all of the men who are serving our country up there in Canada playing for
Right.
Canadian football teams.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm a big Hamilton Tiger Cats guy myself.
Okay.
I'm a big Toronto Argonauts. I
The Argonauts.
think that's how you say
Let's all
it.
just keep
The
naming
Argonauts,
Canadian
eh?
football.
How many can we get?
Saskatchewan
Rough Riders.
Yeah, that's my team, baby. That's my team.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Let's
The
go.
Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, Calgary. Stampeders.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Montreal Alouettes.
Yep.
Alouettes.
Yep.
Yep.
Edmonton. I don't know what Edmonton's name is.
Edmonton. I ain't got a clue.
It's not Grey Cup season yet.
They are the
Not
elk.
yet. They are the elk.
Edmonton Elk.
That's
Okay.
simple.
That's
We
actually
have
pretty
we
solid
have
right
missed.
there.
I think you guys got everything besides two. The BC Lions and the
thought BC
Ottawa
Lions,
Red
yeah.
Blacks.
Red.
Red
Oh,
Blacks.
yeah, the Red
well,
Blacks,
what
that's
is
right.
that?
I
What's
remember
a Red
them.
Black?
The
They
red and black.
from the Blue Whites. You remember? That's what they cousins to the Blue Whites is what they are.
From the Black
Just
and
leave the
Yellows?
funny stuff to.
I thought it was good. Like that was quick. That wasn't good.
So your former teammate Jonathan Crompton was both an Edmonton Eskimo and a Montreal
He
Alouette.
was. I was glad he got to
remember those
extend his
days, man.
career over like that. Yes.
Edmonton Eskimo.
There was a quarterback that came in with me my rookie year in Pittsburgh. Mike Riley turned into a legend up there in Canada too. Yes.
There are guys that
Yeah.
make a really good living up there doing
Yeah,
that.
a few guys that want to extend their careers. It's just
Yeah.
the money that you get and then the transfer funds coming back. It's
Yeah.
All right, this is way too much CFL. This does not need to continue anymore other than just naming team names.
just numerous
I
guys,
like it, eh?
man. Yeah, no.
All right.
thought
Titans
about it.
practice yesterday, and we were there.
We were.
We were.
5 takeaways for you on
Live
that
and in
this
color.
morning. Coach Mack at 7:20. Some practice observations coming up. Will Levis talked at the podium. And the RKW Draft this morning is people in sports who are easy to hate. Feels like it was a very hateful week in football, especially here. So, we can just double down on hatred.
Nah, I'm
I'm
here
about
for
to
it.
put that
I like
in the
one.
past.
Double down on the hate. Nah,
I did my yoga yesterday.
Okay.
I'm in.
you hit your Zen.
Yeah, I had to hit my Zen
Hit
after
your
those
Zen
2 days, man.
yesterday. No, I like it because there's a lot of movies that guys are villains in, or real life villains too. I know for a while Charles Barkley was a villain of just mine in my youth because
Oh, I'm all real people. in this
yeah,
list.
you all real.
There's not a single fictional character. I have enough hate to go around for all of the boys and girls.
Well,
That sounded
I
terrible.
like the heat on the football field. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm with that 100%.
no doubt about it. This should be a good one though. I'm looking forward to this one, man. I enjoy people who agitate. Y'all know I probably got a long list of folks anyway.
Well,
So.
there's
Yeah, for
plenty of
some
them yesterday too. Josh
AFC
Wiley.
North folks, you are on that list probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably am. Probably am to somebody, but
Top of the list.
I'll as long as I'm on somebody's list, right? That's usually how it goes.
Exactly.
O-line, I got takes on that one from
Yeah.
yesterday, man. A lot that I did see, some encouraging things, some things I went, oh no, about, and we'll dive deeper into that one too. But I'll say this: one of the fastest guys I've seen in my life, Sir Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
He
Could have saved that tease for after the break.
Well, yeah, you know me. I'm eager beaver out here. I'm an eager beaver, Will. I just want to give it all to you, okay? Don't save that. That sounded so bad.
Yeah, it did.
But Calvin Ridley in Pats, man, is by far one of the fastest guys I've seen get off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And it's been fun to watch him, to see what it could look like for Will Levis. And we'll
sure.
get more into that.
Yeah,
but
because there's a whole
definitely.
thing on that.
Yeah,
The timing.
it is.
615-737-1045 is our number. Coming up, what happened on the practice field yesterday? We got that for you next.
Hey, it's Kayla and Ramon with our friends at Window Nation. And look, right now, they've got a great deal going on for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. And then let's add to it because we are in the month of August. You get an additional $250 credit. And this is the way to do it, and it's the time to do it. It's hot out there, and cooling your house is more expensive than ever, Ramon.
No doubt about it, Kayla. And one thing about cooling is they have a really good quality window, which means they do a 50-point inspection on every window before it leaves the factory. 96% customer satisfaction rating, with 96% of them having no follow-up service. Over 33,000 5-star reviews. Listen, this is just what Window Nation does. They do windows, and they are the best at it. That's all they do. So as Kayla told you, buy 2, get 2 free, plus pay no payments, no interest, no payments for 24 months, plus an additional $250 in credit. Simply call them at 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com.
Thursday morning at RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone, 615-737-1045. How you jump in? Wednesday practice takeaways for you. You will hear from Will Levis coming up in just a moment as he talks about how the offense feels through this point of camp. What stood out yesterday, guys?
What stood out? The amount of playmakers they could potentially have throughout the course of the season. I thought the guy that stood out the most to me, because he's been here a time or two, well, not here a time or two, been around the league, was probably Tyler Boyd. You see, one, he's bigger in stature than I gave him credit for.
Yeah, he is.
Not like width or like he's tall. He's a thicker wide receiver is the way I see him. But at his age, he's still quick off the line of scrimmage. He had really good body control the way I evaluated him yesterday. And he's got some hands, man. His pass on the sideline from Will Levis was that was that NWI-esque that we talked about. NWI like we saw last year. Definitely looks like Will Levis has worked on his from the furthest hash to throwing it to the sideline passes, that touch and stuff that we'll see quarterbacks throw into nets and trash cans and stuff. It looked like he really decided to work on that. Those two things to me kind of popped out for the most part as far as the skill guys go, is from a newcomer perspective. I thought Tyler Boyd is as sold as far as working in this offense.
Yeah, it did, definitely. We had that conversation about, who could be the number 3 guy in terms of yards when it's all said and done in the numbers department. And the more we see Tyler Boyd kind of make every single play, clearly that chemistry is already being built between him and Will Levis. It makes me more comfortable to say he probably will be that guy. But also adding to that, you're right, Ramon. You look at some of these guys who, and I think the offense altogether had a little bit of a bounce back day from the day before, where I thought the defense, dominated a lot of practice. I think Will Levis, at least early on in practice, looked good. He had some moments later there that you could say he's also saying that he's trying to do some things, try some things that maybe, see if they work. If they don't work, we're not going to go back to that. And that's been a consistent conversation when he has talked to us. But yeah, some of these guys that I think need to have these good days in training camp and stack them, we always say, they're starting to do that. And, Traylon Burks, Ron Slay's guy, is continuing to be one of those guys. And I know that we have to see it in the regular season, and we have to make sure that he stays healthy to be able to stack those performances. But right now, every opportunity he's being given, which, by the way, it's hard when you're trying to distribute to a ton of other weapons. Like you said, there's a lot of weapons to go to: tight ends, wide receivers, the running backs. He has made the most of every opportunity in that way. And I think that's a really positive sign. He looks different too. His body
Traylon Burks
is different. Traylon Burks is what we're talking about. I remember looking at the last couple of years, he's a big dude, right? But he didn't have the 6-pack or he looks definitely different in terms of the physique, and I think it's helping him in some of these, downfield plays and things in terms of just the speed aspect too.
Well, Rand said he texted the coaching staff. I think it was him and maybe his wide receiver coach and Coach Brian Callahan, a picture of him of the work he's put in. So he's feeling confident in what he's done so far, but it's gotta translate.
Yep. I think for me, it is the fact that the quick game offense looks like it is progressing.
Yeah.
We saw really what I think the real Brian Callahan offense will look like yesterday, and I like it. Mm-hmm. I do think that they have weapons who are going to be able to get open and get open quickly. I have no doubt about Tyler Boyd's ability, about Calvin Ridley's ability, and DeAndre Hopkins. The big question for this offense is, can they be available for the entire season? Because you are investing a lot of money in guys who are later in their careers, although not at the end of them, so to speak, for I think any of those 3 guys. But I think Tyler Boyd has been one of my biggest takeaways in just the amount that he will be featured within this offense. If he plays all 17 games, guys, I don't think there's any doubt that he's wide receiver 3 at this point. And I was curious what that would look like, but the guy looks to be in very good shape. How much of that, though, is because he's been in this offense before? How much of a head start will he get over the other guys on the field, in your opinion?
At that position where guys want to fight for that one or two, that third spot, he get a big advantage in my opinion, man. He's familiar. He know what the expectations of it is. I was also just going to be curious as to see how Will Levis was going to distribute the ball to him. Last week, and they were in no pads. Remember, he had them. Tyler Boyd did exactly in this offense what he knows how to do. He right down the middle of the defense, split the safeties, and he had a shot right there for him. Will Levis just happened to miss him in those moments, like knowing how to navigate the safety and manipulate the cornerbacks. If you watch him went out in and split, I think he had a linebacker on him at that point. He's winning that every single time, man. But even to your point, Will, the outside, playing the sidelines, like he knows where to be, how to break away from it. And, of course, the hands that he has also is one of those things that you don't have to worry about with a guy like him. So the advantage, and I think Caleb mentioned this a second ago, that anybody else after 3, is where do you find time to get on the field? And it's if Tyler Boyd's not in, or if Traylon Burks, again, it's one of the things that I've mentioned earlier, is put him at different positions and see what works. Like at this point, the contingency plan should be Traylon Burks as far as being a slot type of guy if you're only doing a 1-year deal.
Well, and that keeps your older receivers healthy, too, if they don't have to play every single snap at age 30 to 32.
No doubt about it. And then, of course, if with a younger, faster guy, I expect Traylon to be faster than Tyler Boyd at this point. You keep the gas on the defense at that point. Okay, Tyler Boyd is out. Well, I can run it and do the exact same things that he can too. If this offense, Will, is going to be short, quick passing off style of offense, which is what we saw a good bit of yesterday. And it wasn't just the wide receivers. We saw them dump off to the running backs numerous times, whereas in a full defensive set to where it's unscripted and you got to really play the game. If you go back and look at Joe Mixon's style of receiving the ball in Cincinnati, it was down the field, quick, to the right in the flats to a guy like him. And he was very shifty. I think we realized that both the backs that the Titans have right now are both shifty and quick in space. So I see a Joe Mixon type of dump off to these types of guys. But from what we've seen so far with Tony Pollard and, of course, Tajay Spears, they're going to run routes down the field too. That's a different type of weapon right there, being able to, at any point in time, you don't have to just run the ball with the running backs in.
It's interesting, too, because you brought up the point again about there's so much on the field in terms of weapons for this offense. And then if you look at the other sides, and I'm talking about reps right now in training camp, if you look at the other side and you look at that cornerbacks room, it's almost in a way opposite because not everybody's on the field right now, right? We've got L'Jarius Sneed, who we've seen, but he's got management days, and Chidobe Awuzie, who's, trying to get the calf back in motion. He was out there yesterday in sweats watching practice. But this is now another thing that I have seen consistent-wise is these younger cornerbacks getting opportunities, and also they are taking advantage of those opportunities in a guy like Jarvis Brownlee Jr., who we spoke to yesterday. Dang, I love that dude's attitude. I think he fits perfectly into this defensive scheme. It is crazy, like the mentality and just the way he plays and the way they allow him to play. Also, Gabe Jeudy-Lally, man, I am so impressed by him. And even talking to him, you guys, I feel like I am talking to a guy that's been in the league for 3+ years already. He is so smooth and calm and collected in everything he's doing. He's a rookie out there fighting for a job on this roster. And he's just like, almost like he's been here, done that before. I've been so impressed with his work on the field, but also the way he is. There it is. See how I pumped you guys up this morning? You're welcome. That's right.
I was planning it.
That's right.
Excellent.
That is right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Football
it is
must
Friday.
be good.
No, it's Thursday.
It is Thursday. 6:30 in the morning on Thursday.
But I'm passionate about that because I honestly, I believe that is something I have watched, and I really like him.
The whispers are that he is having that type of camp so far for a young guy. Will brought it up, and of course, if we speak, screw that. If we don't speak it. Look, listen, he's played well.
No, don't get tell like it is, regardless of where our diplomas are from.
He is playing well right now. Trey Avery is also playing well. I saw something yesterday with him. He gave up the slightest. Trey Avery gave up the slightest pass, I think, and I think he may have miscommunicated something with Denard Wilson. Denard Wilson immediately, get him out of here. Get him out of here. But that right there is because his expectations for a guy like him.
And I just think with the corners, that there's a little bit of skepticism that needs to be given because we don't know if they're really great because this offense just isn't good yet.
Right.
Because last year we watched a defense that was excellent, and we came out of training camp thinking that this was going to be a special defense. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. It was good. I think it actually would have been a pretty decent defense if the offense could have helped it out or picked it up in a couple of games this year. And if they had a left tackle and if they had a offensive line to protect their 3 quarterbacks who played. But I do think that first preseason game will tell us some interesting stories about those corners.
Yeah.
Including Caleb Farley, who I'm not going to set the expectations too high. I still think Caleb Farley has a very outside chance of making this team. However, he continues to show up and he continues to do something every practice where I say, oh, Caleb Farley.
You're right.
No lie.
You're not wrong.
No lie.
And at the very least, take that for what it is. It probably doesn't mean he's going to make the team, but it is August 1st.
Yeah.
There are still so many different possibilities of ways this thing could go. Guys could be traded. He could be traded. Everything seemingly is on the table at this point. And what we can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is he keeps showing up and doing something that makes you go, huh, interesting.
Right.
No doubt about it. And I was thinking the same thing. We've been on, I feel like, this Caleb Farley train for a while. And last year was just catastrophic for him also. Personally, this dude is coming out of rubble. And Will, to your point, what he's done so far is been out there every single day. He looks like a first rounder as far as body type.
Physically, he looks like a first rounder. I think you got to be careful in the way you describe that.
Well, that's what I was getting to.
Size and length. He looks like a first rounder.
If you put him on a board and, hey, here's a diagram of what we're looking for, he checks that box. Now we've seen him in consistent days compete and look like a guy that's going to at least fight for a spot. I don't know what it's going to look like in the stadium because, again, he was thrown out there early. Remember, he was lost and on the ground trying to find stuff to do in his rookie year. And last year, wasn't much from it either. But this year, as far as sticking to the wide receivers, as far as having his hands around and contesting the football, he's checked those boxes of being a competitor. Now, he's got 3 years of nothingness as far as what he's been able to do. The catch-up period for him has to be expedited so fast because of he's on a clock as far as no fifth-year option, former first-rounder, the injuries, and now this staff is all new guys. If I'm not mistaken, he may be with the 2s and 3s more, but he's in a position where he's competing with guys in 7-on-7, and he's not looking like a bust.
He's going up against 1s at times in 7-on-7.
Yeah.
And that's where he had a pass breakup, I believe, yesterday.
And it's not. It's looking fluid.
Well,
is what you say of his play right now.
And you forget sometimes that's Caleb Farley. And I'm not trying to any slight, but we just have not seen him a lot at all in these types of training camps or in terms of being there consistently. And we don't have a ton of expectations for him now. He was the former first rounder, but we've obviously stated all the injuries that he's gone through and all the off the field things that he has gone through. This is also a guy, and you go back to the development part and having to catch up on this. This is also something I continue to remind people that maybe forget. This was not a guy who's played cornerback his whole career. This was a guy who converted from a wide receiver, when he was at, I believe, Virginia Tech, right? And converted to that cornerback position. Didn't get a lot of time at that position because it was the whole COVID situation. And then when he came here, you were hoping that development would continue. And clearly with the injuries and, some of the stuff that goes along with everything that happened, it never happened. So, yeah, he is playing catch up with the development. But I will say I just love seeing him out there every day. And we are seeing improvement, and he's catching our eye. I'll take that. We got to see where that goes. But right now, I'm just happy for him individually that he's able to be out there and be healthy right now.
Paul and Franklin on the phone lines this morning, 615-737-1045. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Great.
Morning, Paul.
Oh, Lord, I am fired up this morning, let me tell you. Got up, I looked at the calendar, and it done flipped to August. Big Red Goose, baby.
Yeah.
Football is back. Let me tell you something right now. It's great to be alive and be in Tennessee. From Rocky Top to down in Nashville, Tennessee, we got a monster building in Knoxville, baby, fixing to be unleashed. And I'm going to tell you what, we got a underrated Tennessee Titan. Let me tell you something. That defensive line of the Tennessee Titans going to be like a pack of wild buffalo, baby. We're going to turn them loose on them, baby. And all I just got to say, man, I got goose pimples. God bless y'all. Go Vols and tighten up, baby.
Go Vols, baby.
There you go, Paul. Wow, we got two in 10 minutes.
Goose pimples.
Goose pimples.
That's the word of the month in the month of August.
Paul,
Goose pimples.
I thought I needed some coffee. I don't anymore.
Right?
I don't need no coffee now, Paul. I promise you that, man. Goose pimples, baby.
Look at him making up his own words.
That's what I'm talking about. I
Love
haven't
it.
heard that. He sounds so much like Dusty Rhodes to me. All I needed Paul to say was, if you will. That's all I needed him to say one time, man. But we are so back, though.
I do wonder what he gets up to. Like, is it just straight shots? Like, it is amazing to me.
Naturally. I'm going to just
It's amazing.
natural.
Goose pimples is a term. He
It
did not
is.
make that
Okay.
up. Yeah.
I just always looked at pimples as being irritants because I used to have a lot of them. So I'll take it, though. I'll go with it. If he likes it, I'll go with it.
Okay.
Yesterday, here is Titans quarterback Will Levis talking about the offense. A little bit of an unscripted period yesterday for both the offense and the defense. A little bit of a different challenge for both sides of the ball. Here is the Titans quarterback on the offense getting into its groove.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we just, from an operations standpoint alone, we still can't, first time on the call-up period, first time in this whole camp where we didn't have our script and defense didn't know what defense they were running, and it was just kind of call it. And, I mean, just start with the 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15, just not a great way to, get that started. Other than that, I felt like we were pretty clean. Yesterday, a lot of false starts and, huge center exchanges that just can't happen. And looks like today it's a good job getting back on track and getting things more solid.
Ramon, how much of practice will be unscripted versus scripted in training camp?
Won't happen often. They'll sprinkle in probably maybe once a week in certain situations like that. I think when they get a little bit closer when they're doing 2-minute stuff, it's just calling, hauling, what we would call it, what we would say in those phrases right there, Will. But for the most part, it is strategic and how we got to build up to a point. I think, again, we spoke about it a couple of days ago with Coach Bill Callahan, like the script is in, right? So everybody has their full playbook for the most part on both sides of the ball. They'll sprinkle in categories and situations that they want to put the team in here and there, but this may be a once-a-week scenario in which you just say, all right, you should know this, and we're going to go this route. Honestly, I thought it was kind of early to go this early for unscripted, but I like it. You're speeding up the process of letting your team adjust and figure out what they can do against this defense. We got to remember when Coach Brian Callahan had his intro as far as hiring Denard Wilson, he said he wanted to go against guys that he had problems with.
Yep.
So one way to fine-tune your issues is to let him do his thing and you figure out and adjust. So albeit there may be some bad plays by Will Levis and trying to figure out when do I go deep and when do I dump off. Like, I think this is a big adjustment for Nick Holtz and Coach Brian Callahan on these unscripted days to somewhat fine-tune what he would do against his style of defense because Coach Brian Callahan thinks high of Denard Wilson. So to have him in these situations, Will, I think I'd guess at this point with the whole playbook in, maybe once a week or if they go back to the stadium situations.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 if you want to try to bring half the energy that Paul and Franklin just brought us a couple of minutes ago. And when we come back, a U.S. Olympic team got a little bit of revenge yesterday. We'll talk about that next. 1st of August and a Thursday morning that is underway here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. NFL football will be played tonight, and college football will be played this month. Feels good. Feels good to be back. Sun will shine a little bit brighter today with football back.
Yes. I got to get in my AP preseason poll.
Oh, yeah.
I'm voting again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good reminder.
On that.
I got to do that by tomorrow.
Number one team?
Georgia.
Georgia. Oh, I keep forgetting about Georgia.
I know.
How could you forget about Georgia?
Forget about them.
Out of sight, out of mind right now. Listen, I'll deal with that demon when we get there. We will. Is that's fair right there?
You say you're not speeding to worry about them?
No.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
So USA basketball last night got a little bit of revenge. South Sudan did not beat them in exhibition play, but they basically should have. 103-86 yesterday. Team USA 2-0 in Olympic play and officially punched its ticket to next week's quarterfinals. 66 bench points in this game for the United States. Bam Adebayo was the guy leading the way in this one. 18 points, 8 of 10 shooting, 7 rebounds. Interesting what Steve Kerr has done with this team because Jason Tatum very famously did not play at all in the Game 1 win over Serbia. The guy started Game 2. Tyrese Halliburton, who was not on the court, now he gets on the court. And then it's Joel Embiid's turn to sit. And I guess maybe sit in timeout and think about how bad he was in Game 1.
If you look at the box score of all their games they've had too, it is really a even spread of like point distribution, minutes, rebounds, defensive rebounds.
Yes.
Like you look at Tatum play 17 minutes, 4 points. That's not his NBA season. So like this is a different style of ball that they all are playing right now. Highest point, you said Bam Adebayo is a guy that's 18 points. That's your highest. Like you
Bamonte, as D-Wade called him yesterday.
What'd he call him?
Bamonte.
Bamonte.
So that's what his mama called him. I told him if he made a 3, I'd call him Bamonte.
If you keep talking about folks' mamas and what they call them.
He just keeps talking. He's going to get in trouble.
But this is also the difference between the preseason, I guess, the prelim warm-ups versus when it got real, too. A lot of folks were on the socials saying, the USA got to get it together, and South Sudan played them well. And, again, Steve Kerr said he was trying things out. Kevin Durant wasn't back out there. Again, he cannot miss from the three-point shot. He is 7 for 7, I think, in the last 2 games. He was 2 for 2 yesterday also. It's good. South Sudan, huge accomplishment for them. Luol Deng has spearheaded this whole program for them. Spent his own money, I think, the last 2 or 3 years to get them above board to qualify. And I was listening to guys speak about this. Said, don't be surprised moving forward because of what Luol Deng's set up for them, that we see more South Sudan players in the NBA because basketball is such an international game. And now this exposure is just going to have more folks coming to watch them. But you know what I got to say about that, too? USA.
That's right.
USA.
I don't know. There has been a scar on the face of United States basketball currently. Have you guys seen what's been going on with United States 3v3?
Oh, my.
No, Jimmer Fredette, not the superstar maybe he once was.
Uh-oh.
It's just, I don't know why they just didn't pull all the B team. Put Jaylen Brown on this team.
Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Well, he can't shoot threes, but
I don't
or twos in this case.
I don't understand the mechanics of this 3v3 game. Like, I need to talk to Slay about why they chose these guys. Because it seems like you would be able to just get 3 monsters.
I know.
Just get 3 monsters and run through this. But they lost to Poland yesterday, 19-7. Lost to Serbia on the 30th, 22-14. Jimmer Fredette had an injury yesterday to his groin.
With offense like that, is Kirk Ferentz in charge? Is he the head coach of the 3v3? I know Brian Ferentz got fired as his OC. Did he pick up the U.S. 3v3 men's basketball coaching job?
That's a good question.
How long has the 3v3 been going on in the Olympics?
Since
Because
Tokyo.
I'm not going to lie, I have
2020.
not paid attention to the 3v3.
Since Tokyo.
2020.
Okay.
I
So
think
it
the
is
women
good.
won it last.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Correct. Carol
last
Lawson
time.
was the coach for it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to watch it today, it comes on at 12:05. They are playing
Okay.
Lithuania.
Jimmer Fredette making this team is
Sure.
says a lot though. Like I'm with you. Where are the Monstars at? Like they couldn't
Because
get
the women's
anybody.
team is good.
Yeah, the women's team is.
Haley
I've
Van Lith.
seen
Where's
doing some good
Ja?
work.
All the fellas love Haley
Where's
Van Lith.
Ja?
Where's Ja Morant?
I don't know. Is he unsuspended?
Yeah, he's cleared
I
now,
know.
if I'm not
being
mistaken. I mean, it'd be the perfect exposure for him to build back up his presence around.
You're
Because
not wrong about that.
where are the Monstars?
Men's roster, total roster. Canyon Barry,
Never heard.
Never heard of him.
Jimmer Fredette,
Yes.
College.
Kareem Maddox, Dylan Travis.
Nope.
The coach is Joe Lewandowski.
So Canyon Barry is a veteran of the 3v3 teams. He's been with 2 different FIBA World Cups for 3v3 with the United States. And the other cats, I'm not looking them up. I'm not that quick.
That is crazy. I don't know like almost any of those guys except for
So
that.
Jimmer won silver playing for the U.S. in the 2023 FIBA World Cup.
Right.
They did win the Pan American Games as their most recent tournament.
Oh, I watch that all the time.
I thought they were just going to run it back, huh? Oh, my gosh.
I'll stick to swimming.
Yeah, I'll stick to some
Track.
Katie Ledecky. Golly.
Yeah.
she
Shout out another gold.
crushed it.
Won the
No,
1500 yesterday.
yeah.
Last thing on this, I'm a big fan of when NBA players go to China because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chinese sports habits, but they like to give their
course,
own
yeah.
nicknames to athletes.
Ooh, I like
So it's usually a rough translation of what their nickname is in the United States. But Jimmer does not have a good nickname. So his nickname translates to the Lonely Master
Ooh.
because he's usually by himself shooting threes.
Okay, you could take that a lot of ways.
What
Yeah,
in the
not
world?
good.
The Lonely Master.
I'm just glad that Kevin Durant's finally embraced the Slim Reaper during
I
the
like
Olympics.
that. He is slim. You know what? God gave him that body. He should rep it.
He's finally, finally answered to that.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
He's
hey,
letting the talking do on the
he's
court.
to your point, a killer on the doggone court.
Yeah.
He is so smooth.
Were you guys up at 3 a.m. for the race walk this morning when track and field
Oh
began?
my! I can't. You guys, this is the funniest stuff ever. All I remember is that meme of that lady who used to do John Mayer fast walking that hit the internet
Mayer
years ago.
fast walking?
Yeah, and it's that type of like fast walking, power walking. You know, that
Is
was
this a
years
class?
ago. It's a thing.
I didn't know this was a thing.
still don't know what you're talking about.
So they
Look
like
it
they
up.
walk to his music.
No, this was this lady who became viral, but it reminds me of whenever Will said that this is an actual Olympic event, power walking.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is a real
it is.
thing.
Oh yeah, no, I've broadcasted race walks before.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
funny.
I did a 15-hour broadcast for the New Balance National Track Championships. This would have been either 2 or 3 years ago in Philly, but I did them remotely from my apartment, and I was up at 6 a.m. doing like. There were like 5 16-year-olds doing like the New Balance High School National Championships for race
Yeah.
walk.
What?
When I did the AAU Championships in 2017 in Orlando, I called a race walk.
One weird question for you. Like,
Yeah.
do they have like bad hip problems when they're done?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You think so? Okay, all right. That's only because
It's
like
intense.
Athletics is 10 days, but it's kind of funny. I was just reading a column about this. Technically, this is day 0 of track and field. Athletics is what it's called at the Olympics. So all the race walkers competed on day 0 of the competition.
Okay, optics-wise, they need to come up with a new name. Race walking
I know.
doesn't sound great.
Well, they literally have to walk. Like they have officials that watch them, and they have to have 2 feet on the ground or 1 foot on the ground at all times.
Maybe they call it a pace race then.
pace race or
that sounds a little better.
race walking is kind of
This is the one area where I'm an expert. Let me have this. 615-737-1045
I get
is
it.
our number. Coming up for the last time, we talk about Jeffrey Simmons and social media. He put it to bed yesterday. He made a comment. We play that audio next.
People are talking about Window Nation. Their customer, Vicky, says, "We couldn't be happier. This was a great experience." She's just one of over 33,000 five-star reviews. That's because Window Nation is all about value. And this August, they're giving you a great value during the Window Nation anniversary sale. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save big with no interest or payments for 24 months. Act now and you'll get an extra $250 in credits too.
Window Nation values your satisfaction in their quality, service, and affordability. That's why they stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation was also recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Hurry, sale ends August 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Good morning. Happy Thursday from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh, and we did it, guys. We made it. Football is back on our televisions tonight, and I don't care that it's the Hall of Fame game. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Bears and Texans. Chicago head coach Matt Eberflus noted that you're not going to see many Chicago starters, and I'm fine with that. Bring me all of the Tyson Bagent. I can handle it. Nick Holtz, Titans offensive coordinator, spoke to the media yesterday about the progression of the offense after the first padded practice, and here's what he had to say.
If you look back and, kind of when we went back and watched the film, the beginning of practice kind of really felt that way. It really felt like the defense started faster than us, which we talked about as a unit. Hey, we got to start fast, meet their intention. They kind of brought those, especially those first 4 or 5 plays, and then it really kind of settled in.
And some notes from around the league from other training camps. Cowboys working out some pass rushers in high demand Thursday in the wake of the Sam Williams knee injury, bringing in veteran Carl Lawson, who played for Cincinnati under Mike Zimmer, and the Rams starting guard Jonah Jackson, who was spotted on the sidelines yesterday with his left arm in a sling, expected to miss the preseason due to a bruised scapula. But they do have optimism that he will have a chance to return for the start of the regular season versus his former Detroit Lions team. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
$7 a.m. on RKW as Hour 2 begins this fine Thursday morning from the heart of the Music City. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Stream it live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, as well as the 104.5 The Zone app, and on your favorite podcast channel at 10 o'clock every single morning. That is where you hear Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, myself, Will Bowling, at Ramon Foster, at Kayla Anderson TV, at Will_Bowling, and at Robbie_Walsh.
Ooh, maybe we'll have a surge like we did that one day.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Remember when you had to get your new account?
Oh.
And we were trying to get you all these followers, and we also reaped the
rewards of it. Yeah, well, I'm back now, baby. Maybe we all get them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think Ramon needs to make yet another Twitter.
Oh, another one, like a third one.
Why is that?
Well, this would just be his leisure one. You would just follow Ramon Leisure. This is where he could put up all of his highest price tickets and highest Louis Vuitton overalls, surfboards, and all the bidets that are in his home, and the mini Christmas tree holders, the bejeweled Christmas tree holders. It could be the leisure and lifestyle of Ramon Foster Twitter.
I like that
You
one.
name all those fancy things. Those Louis Vuitton overalls is what you were looking for.
Of course,
And I'm still waiting on them.
Maybe it's a Christmas gift. Okay,
What were they, like $1,200?
They were way too high for overalls.
How much were they again?
Like $1,200.
Hey, that's stupid.
Good.
And that Chanel
You said good.
surfboard
Good.
was like $3,000. Like, who's taking a Chanel
you got a zero.
surfboard?
I'm telling you one thing.
$36,000. That's
I would wear
insane.
those overalls and ride that surfboard every day to work if I
Surfboard?
paid that much money for it.
There's a lot of people to launder a lot lot of money out there.
Yeah, well,
Dang.
yeah.
I need to find a new career, man.
No, for real. I need to hit the black market.
I don't know if I'd say that on your current.
Oh, goodness. Dude, I'm making a joke.
I know. I know what you're doing.
Good Lord.
Okay. Take it easy. Jeffrey Simmons putting social media comments to bed. I look forward to the day tomorrow where we don't have to talk about this anymore. Talking to the media yesterday, issued an apology. Here are his full comments yesterday. First addressed to Buck Rising and addressed to the entire media.
We have an understanding. I have understanding where we're coming from. I have understanding where he coming from. He have a job. I have a job. At the end of the day, I take full accountability of my actions on the field. I mean, that'll never happen again with me. Like I said, I always talk about that switch, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. I was kind of still had it on coming off the field, of course, with the way practice went. But that, like I said, that's not me. It'll never happen again. And to all you guys, like I said, I apologize. And not because it's hit social media, but it's because who I am. That's not my character, and I think from here on out, like I said, from that point, like I said, I spoke on about it. I'm ready to move forward. Any football questions, I'm here to answer.
Is that part of being a leader too, Jeffrey? That setting an example for others, is that where that's coming from also?
Most definitely. We talked about everyone knowing I'm a leader on the team, and I don't want none of my teammates saying that. And like I said, that's not who I am. You know, I look at myself first, because being a leader, you have to point the finger to yourself first. And like I said, me and Buck talk, we have an understanding. And like I said, I told him where I was coming from. He told me where he was coming from. Like I said, ready to move on from.
You seem very angry with us in general lately. What's the root of that? What can
I just say, that's not me. We're going to move forward from that. I'm ready to focus on football. I just want to win. Like I said, I'm not with all the social media stuff. I got a text message even from a PR lady, just even delete social media while I'm in camp. Because like I said, I don't want to get the text message. Told my family, don't send it to me no more. None of that. But like I said, I'm not angry at you guys. I don't have nothing against you guys. You guys have a job. I have a job. We know you guys going to critique us. I mean, we're not going to like it. And like I told earlier, we also have a right to speak our opinion as well, just like you guys. So I'm not angry with no one. Like I said, some of the stuff I just don't like with some of the stuff to be said. That's my opinion. So like I said, I'm just ready to move on from that. Like I said, yesterday is unacceptable, and we came back to practice today. Had a great day.
In general, do you need to pay less attention to social media?
I'm focused on football.
When it came to on the field yesterday and just the intensity, where's the line with that? Has Callahan talked to you guys about that at all?
Just control aggression. At the end of the day, my job is to push them guys as well as they push ours. We ain't here to fight. At the end of the day, just like when me and Latham got tangled up, it's a football play. So we compete. All the extra stuff just not called for. As we know that, it's been like that because as we know in the game, you hit someone in the face mask, you're out the game. So at the end of the day, you have to know when to draw the line. We teammates at the end of the day. Like I said, we all in here for one goal, to get each other better and get ready for September and win one game at a time.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons yesterday.
Very fair and professional. I have a question for you guys. Just one. That's all I have on this thing. Why is it bad when athletes say something back to the media? Why is it perceived as bad?
Well, you might be asking the wrong person because I supposedly only stick up for athletes.
Yeah, besides that, I mean,
I'm trying to get this out here as somebody who's trying to be fair in the situation, covering this sport, for a long time. And in this locker room, I've never had an issue with an athlete coming back at a reporter. And I've had a couple incidences in the way past with, maybe something that came across wrong where somebody's confronted me and we've had a conversation about it, right? Because what you see on Twitter, sometimes the words that come out on Twitter, they're not exactly expressed how you would express them face to face. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I think it's okay for an athlete to approach a media member in the right setting, and that sometimes will happen in the locker room, where they can talk it out. I'm all about that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, sometimes I think it could be in a different situation, like maybe, what happened a couple days ago, that it gets a little, crossing the line because you are in a situation where there's a lot going on around you. Maybe it wasn't the right place and it wasn't addressed the right way. But that's all said and done now, right? And guess what happened when they talked face to face, Ramon? Oh, wow. They actually resolved it, right? And so I'm just going to go on record. I have no problem with an athlete confronting a media member for something maybe that did not get, face-to-face worked out and it was misconstrued on a social media platform. No problem with it.
Jeffrey Simmons made two mistakes specifically. First one was when he made his original tweet on July 11th and he said, "How do some of you guys cover us but hate us so much?" I think that is beyond just confronting media for something you felt like was wrong. Nobody hates you.
Right.
The word he used there was a mistake, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because that makes something personal that I think you can confront someone and be like, "Hey, why are you so negative about this? What's the problem?" Right? Like you could have a conversation, but taking to Twitter to claim that media hates you is a bit too far. And secondly, like the profanity against a radio host while he's on air is also clearly a mistake. And so, no, I think in theory, a player confronting a media member to have a conversation is one thing. I think where Jeffrey Simmons knows he messed up now from that apology and from everything we know is that he wasn't really confronting anyone to have a conversation. The second time, he was confronting Buck to grandstand and threaten the guy, so to speak, during his radio show and not in the locker room privately the way I think you do that.
And
It to me, it's those two specific things where this went beyond just a player coming up to you as a media member and saying, hey, what the heck?
And I'll give Buck credit too, because from all I know, and I don't know how this was reached out to, but Buck did address before this whole incident happened. He actually did try to reach out to Jeffrey Simmons individually. And I don't know what happened with that, but clearly it didn't ever happen. Because I think if that happened and even this tweet went out at the time, it probably still wouldn't have gotten to this level because they would have already had that discussion. So I will say, Buck did say he did reach out to him and that was never a situation where they got together before. So
as far as I go with this, Jeff apologized publicly about his actions, right? And he said he was still running hot after practice. I get that. I've been there too in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is with players that have to just take it, right? That's where it becomes problematic because, again, the bear was poked before then, too, and we know that.
A few times.
So Jeffrey was the only one that had to make a public apology about that. My thing is I'll have to go back and listen to Buck's show because I think that's fair on his side because I think he addressed it opening his show up about their situation. Did you guys happen to hear it? Like, was it I played?
Yes,
did he own
Buck made the point and said both of us owned up to areas
Yeah.
where we were wrong.
Yep.
And where we were overly sensitive. He said, myself and him both owned mistakes we made in this interaction. We've moved on. It's over. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, I think Buck conceded some things in that conversation. But again, that's between Buck and Jeff.
And it got resolved. And let's be happy that because I said that yesterday. All I wanted for Buck and Jeff is for this to get resolved. I'm just glad they talked it out. And for right now, that bug is completely squashed.
Coming up next, Titans Radio's head coach will join us. Coach Dave McGinnis talks training camp with us next.
United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served Middle Tennessee since 1994. They have more than 25,000 satisfied residential customers. So when it's hot and dry outside, check this out. Do you notice soil cracking or pulling away from your home, leaving holes or gaps next to the foundation? Are your bricks cracking, walls bowing, doors or windows sticking? These are all signs of possible foundation issues. Your house may be trying to tell you something, so listen to it. On the waterproofing side of things, that can include drainage and sealers, oftentimes both. Up to 50% of the air you breathe on the first floor of your home is the air that comes from your crawl space. So control that moisture and create a healthier home for your family by encapsulating your crawl space. Many repairs are guaranteed for the lifetime of your home if you ever need to use them. Again, they've been here since 1994 and aren't going anywhere. So when you work with a new guy in town, you have no guarantee that they'll still be around when you have to use one of those warranties if you don't use USS. USS, we guarantee our best every single time. You can call them 615-488-7855 or go online at USSTN.com.
RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will continues kicking off your Thursday morning with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. I am Will Bowling, joined by Titans Radio's head coach, Coach Dave McGinnis, presented by our friends at Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, Two Rivers Ford. Coach Mac, what's up?
Morning, guys. Missing seeing everybody this morning, but I guess they need an off day every now and then.
That is right.
That's true.
What never takes a day off is you being a broadcast guru at Tennessee Titans training camp. Joe Hunk, it appeared, Coach Mac got a Coach Mac education day yesterday at Tennessee Titans training camp.
That was his second day in the Coach Mack School of Ball.
Good.
And he walked up and said, "Can we continue this?" And I said, "Absolutely." I was very proud of Joe Hunk. The first day, I mean, he was a lost ball in high weeds, I promise you, when we were sitting there talking. But yesterday, he was spot on. So kudos to Joe Hunk. I'm always willing, once they unmic me, to be able to talk a little ball with people that want to talk ball. And it was a good session. Before we get started, let me just say I was at a major fundraising dinner last night that's expanding. And they were trying to expand, and they were stumped. They didn't know. They wanted to expand into Pittsburgh, and I said, "Just a minute, please." Right in the middle of the dinner, I made a call, and we got it solved with the guy sitting right there with you.
Coach Mac. Coach Mac, man,
Another
man of the
broadcast
people,
guru.
man. And facilitator, Coach Mac, is what you are, man. We'll have that conversation today at some point, Coach Mac, man. Look at you. Next time I'm having a dinner invite, so we'll get that taken care of by the end of the season, Coach Mac.
Yeah, I was listening to the conversation and everybody throwing around names. I said, "Just stop a minute," and I interrupted my man's family dinner, and I said, "Look, here's what they're thinking. I'm gonna put you on with the big person. You good?" He said, "Good." And they looked at me after about 5 minutes and went, "Wow."
Yeah, see?
Ramon Foster, not a lost ball in high weeds in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm still I can't get over that one. That's great.
No, they were impressed. All right.
Yeah, I love that,
Perfect.
Coach Mac, man of the people.
That's right. Coach Dave McGinnis with us this morning. Coach Mac, yesterday, Will Levis talked about unscripted part of practice. And we talked with Ramon earlier this morning that it is early to start throwing in unscripted periods, but there are benefits to that. How much of training camp is just off script, where offense doesn't know what the defense is doing and vice versa, and you challenge your players like that? What is that process like?
Well, I mean, it's really not too early to do it because they're going to be playing a preseason game here pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the playbook they've been into the playbook. They've gone through their basic installations one time. They've been through that. So this was the exactly on point with the time to do it because it's different. It's very much different, and it's different for everybody involved. It's different for the coaches, especially the new coaching staff, and it's good for the players. I mean, you saw it. I mean, anytime you have a call it period, we say it's call it period. Just call it. Put the ball down and call it, and then the head coach, will make a determination as far as to down a distance where the ball is placed if he wants to continue to move the progress up and down the field. But that's the way the game is played. But it's good for coaches and for players because they've got to be able to get used to communicating with each other like that without the coaches standing on the field. I mean, that's part of it. So this, to me, is about the right time to do it because everything's accelerating now, guys. I mean, we've got a ball game tonight, and then pretty soon we're going to be the 49ers are going to be in here playing a ball game. So I liked it, and you saw there it got a little bit disjointed early on because it the first time always is, and so I think they're right on mark for doing it right now.
Coach Mac, where have you seen Will Levis continue to make improvements over this first week plus?
Yeah, of course, as I say, I talked with the offensive coordinator 2 days ago before practice, quite a bit, and it was just giving, he'd asked me what I saw, and I think I've said this on air, and the biggest thing is that, and what they've worked on, and they've worked on it really hard, is just his feet and his lower half is a lot more quiet now, and it's a lot, and his base is a lot more consistent. And that's important because he's always been able to, because he's got a God-given talent with that arm to be able to throw, and he'll continue to do it, during the ball game in times of stress, when he has to, be just off platform, and just because his arm is exceptional. But when everything is working around him and the cylinders clean and the routes are running on time, his feet are much more quiet. I mean, his bottom half is much more or less frantic. That way, it brings in much more consistency with the throw. And you hear this all the time, and you wonder. So, what are you talking about when you say marrying the bottom half to the top half? And that's what he's worked on. That's what they've worked on, and that's what he's been consistent with. And the thing that you'd like to see is that he'd worked through that, through the OTAs, and then when he came back, you could still see that he had picked up right where he left off, as far as being able to incorporate that into just his natural throwing motion now. And the more quiet that his bottom half is, and it leads to better timing, and it leads to better accuracy, which is this offense is about when they're putting the ball in the air.
Coach Mack, I'll tell you somebody who's married their top and bottom together, man, and that's Harold Landry, Coach Mack, over these first few days in practice. How impressed have you been with his rush ability coming back a full 2 years now removed from the ACL, seeing him somewhat get back to his old self?
Yeah, well, and he lost quite a bit of weight with that illness that he had, and so he's coming back with that. But to your point, and look, every position that you have to be able to marry those two together. I mean, it's vital for things to work within the time frame they have to work in. He's got his God-given talent is he's got flexibility. He's got that motorcycle lean that he's able to do, but. Him being an advanced player now in the National Football League, the first thing that he had to learn coming in is he needed counter punches. He needed counter punches within a fluid motion of being able to beat somebody off of the edge, and you can see that. You saw that motorcycle lean come back. I was so happy to see it. And you're right. I think that through the last 5 games of the season. Last year, coming back off of that ACL, the year before, you could see him start to get back. As well as I do, and our listeners hear us talk all the time about coming back from a lower body injuries, especially ACLs. The player has to learn how to be able to trust that it's going to be like it was before. And you can kind of see it when that kicks in mentally. It kicks in mentally that now I can trust, doing instinctively what I was able to do before the injury. And he's the best edge rusher that the Titans have right now. And it's vital for him to continue to get back to that point, because he's a double-digit sack guy when he's healthy and going. He's done it, for 2 years. And to me, that's a huge thing, especially with, if what transpires, with the other edge rusher, comes to fruition, with the suspension with the league. I mean, we need Harold Landry. We need Harold Landry to be Harold Landry this season.
No doubt. Coach Mack, next week, as you said, Titans end up in a stadium, in Nissan Stadium, for the first preseason game. With that being said, I know I'm overly excited, Coach Mack, to see what this new kickoff return routine is going to look like. I know yesterday the Titans tried a multitude of different guys back there in pairings and just a rule change of it. And Coach Mack, they've somewhat expedited the offense with how they're going about setting up these new kickoff rules. Like, I don't think it's a get up and go grab a beer moment anymore in stadiums with this new play.
You know what? To that point, I spent a big part of the practice during that kickoff with Scott Novak, who the referee, who was there with his crew. And spend probably 15 minutes talking with him while they were going through that kickoff, just from an official standpoint. I wanted to ask him a lot of questions about it, and it was a great conversation. But in the officials part of it, they know, and I think you guys know too, that during this preseason, the rules committee, if they see something that's not quite copacetic with the way they envisioned it, they're going to tweak it before the regular season starts. That's number one. So it's really still, it's set. It's pretty well set, but it's still a little bit to be adjusted in this preseason if they see some things that crop up that they didn't really think about. I've talked with some of the special teams coaches at the combine when they were thinking about, not thinking about, where they were going through what they may implement with this, and it's something new for everybody. The other thing that was fascinating, because I asked Scott, I said that where are the because being a former coach, I wanted to know. I said, how are you going to officiate this? Where are the officials going to be set up during this? Because every snap, depending on what's going on, the officials have. I mean, their eyes are at a certain place. They're like players. I mean, they have to train their eyes to be at one place, and they're basically playing zone defense on all the spots that they're looking at, and their eyes have to switch. Once the play starts to work out. And he said, we're going to treat it, with zone eyes and with the spacing of our guys, just like a running play from scrimmage. And that was very interesting to me, because when I talked to some special teams coaches, even before the training camp started, and when you look at it, and then when you watch what the genesis of it was somewhat in the XFL, it's a running play. It's a running play, and you're going to have to defend it as a running play. So you're going to see a lot of pin and pull schemes, and so the way you cover it is going to be very important too. But it's not just going to be one-on-one blocking just straight ahead. And I thought it was pretty interesting yesterday for Scott to say that they're going to cover it like a running play with their zone eyes, as far as the way the officials are going to be set up on the field, because it's new for them too.
Mm-hmm. Coach Mack joining us this morning on RKW. Coach, let's go back to quarterbacks. And Malik Willis has been a topic over the last few days, really since Saturday. And a lot of our fans are interested in, his emergence, and maybe he's developing now like we possibly haven't seen him develop before. From a Coach Mack's viewpoint, where have you seen him take some steps with his game this season in particular under this new offensive staff?
Well, Malik's always worked. I mean, he's worked, but he had a lot of mechanical things that he had to work on coming in, because the offense that he worked and was charged with running, there for Hugh Freeze, which it's not Hugh Freeze's job to develop a quarterback for the league. And the system that he was running, there at Liberty, I mean, he was trying to win ball games. But, first of all, taking snaps from center, going to the huddle to call a play, all of that stuff was brand new to Malik Willis. So he has progressed since he's been here. I mean, but and to me now, the next big test is when he gets in there against another opponent and it's live. Does he stay with the development that he's had, which is much better with his eyes downfield, much better with his pocket presence, much better with his timing, because one of his big issues was he was seeing everything and seeing nothing. To begin with, that's why most young quarterbacks hold on to the ball. They want to be sure before they cut it loose. I think you can see he's gotten past that a little bit. Now we've got to see if he can do it, when somebody's coming at him for real. That's the next thing, that's the next step to look at, because he had chances to start ball games and was thrown into some situations that were, pretty chaotic for him. And so I've seen him calm down. The one thing that I've always seen from Malik Willis, though, through all of this development and all these the trials that he's been through, is he's worked, and he's a worker. And I visited with the offensive coordinator about him too, and he listens and he works, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this preseason, because I think he has advanced a little bit. But until you get out there and start doing it for real, time after time after time, with somebody coming after you trying to get you, and the timing is full game speed, we'll find out. But because he has worked and he has absorbed what he's been taught and knew where he had to get to, I've been impressed. But I've always been impressed with the way he's worked, his work ethic, and the way that he's approached it. I think he's grown quite a bit.
And Coach, this would probably be said about the next guy I'm going to bring up with preseason games around the corner and see how they perform in those. But there has been opportunities with that cornerback position during training camp with Chidobe Awuzie and L'Jarius Sneed not always out there. There's other guys able to take advantage of reps, and that includes the rookie Jarvis Brownlee Jr., who has really been aggressive in his attack, in his approach. And I know that's Denard Wilson's defense to a T, but what have you seen technique-wise out of the young cornerback that is at least a good sign he could be a depth piece?
Well, Kayla, that's why he's here. That's exactly why he's here, because he did that. He did that, initially at Florida State. He did that at Louisville. I know his secondary coach at Louisville very well. I mean, I sat with him at the combine during the defensive back period. I mean, that's what this kid is. He's a Miami kid, went to Florida State. I mean, he reminded me a whole lot just in his mannerisms and the way he reminded me a lot of Roger McCreary when he came in this aspect of it. When Roger came in, it's not too big for him from the jump. You can kind of tell guys out there, they may, it's new, but it's not too big for them. Some guys you can tell that it's too big for them early on, and they're really trying to find their way. And that's he's not doing anything different than anything he's done his whole career. That's why they liked him. That's why he was brought in here with that mentality. And that mentality, to your point, that you said, it fits what Denard wants to do. This is going to be a get up in your face secondary, especially on the edge, and that is right up his alley. And so I like what he's doing, and to me, he's mentally mature football wise. And I go back just to somebody that we can relate to really quick. The same way Roger McCreary was. As soon as he came in, you could kind of tell through a series of the first practices, he's a rookie, but it's not too big for him. He's willing to step in and do it. And I like him. I like what he's doing right now.
We go to the Coach Mac School of Ball every Thursday morning at 7:20 here on the show. Coach Dave McGinnis joining us. Coach Mac, we'll see you out there on the practice field again next week. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Always great being on with you. Ramon, thanks for saving the whole function last night.
No problem, Mac.
Thanks, Coach.
I love it. Coach Dave McGinnis with us here this morning talking some Titans training camp. When we come back, not fun. It was a weird element of conference realignment that happened yesterday. An example of some stolen valor that we're going to talk about next. Thursday morning, wrapping up the first half of the show on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045. Hey, you join us. So there are a lot of weird things that come with conference realignment in the Power 4 era, which began officially on July the 1st. But nothing to me was weirder than what the ACC tweeted yesterday. So Katie Ledecky won gold in the 1,500-meter freestyle. Congratulations to her. Team USA crushing it. And the Atlantic Coast Conference tweeted, Ledecky bringing home the gold. Hashtag accomplish greatness. Hashtag Olympians made here. Katie Ledecky went to Stanford. And the ACC is tweeting out, taking credit for Olympians made here in the ACC.
Nah.
For Katie Ledecky, who never once swam as an ACC athlete.
Yeah, slow your roll there, ACC. And they might have them for about a couple years before there's conference realignment again. The Pac-12 conference is gone. Let's just admit that. We all know that. But the accomplishments that happened in the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8 regimes, like they still stand there. So ACC, you're not that guy.
They're not even close. Like, where do they get off even making that statement? Well, like, who legitimately was running this like press release? Like, that's got to be the one of the biggest slips I think we've seen in a while. Like, we're talking about whole conferences right here.
It was me. I did it because they belong to the ACC now. They're with a real guy. Kayla is like the girlfriend that broke up with someone and now they're with someone nice. And it's like, that used to be us. That used to be us. Remember when we were together? She is an ACC athlete now. The SEC will do the same thing, glomming off Oklahoma and Texas. What is the ACC supposed to do? They are in a losing battle. They are doing everything they can to scratch and claw and hold on. And everything they do ticks someone else off. You guys don't play a good enough conference? Okay, we're going to play the best out-of-conference schedule. Oh, that's what they put on their banner. And then it's like, we acquired Stanford, an educational school. Something like that. I don't know. This stuff bothers me so much. The ACC, there's nothing they can do. They're in a lose-lose battle. According to everyone else, they should just pack it up and ship it off. Send Florida State to the highest bidder. Send Carolina to whoever. Who cares? They're still here. They're going to hold on. They're going to do what they can while they can. I just don't know what they're supposed to do.
Not tweet that.
Their best.
Too late. You can't steal my joke.
I was waiting. Their best.
So is this the same or different as when teams claim their coaches' recruits? Like when Tennessee will claim Drew Lock as a Josh Heupel product. Like, is that fair or foul when teams, Tennessee did this a lot when Jeremy Pruitt was the head coach, and they would claim the success of like Jeremy Pruitt coached defensive backs at Alabama. So you're bragging about an Alabama DB's success just because they were coached by your new coach. To me, this falls in that same category. Is that fair or foul?
That's unfair right there. I don't think that was fair.
The difference is an accomplishment actually like an accolade, that's in the history books, is done like at a previous place. And that is actually recorded. We're not recording coaches like success in terms of maybe if they win a national championship, but like an assistant or something, that's not in the record books of, he did a hell of a job, recruiting and whatever here. You can, I think, use that as an example when you're somewhere else and say, hey, we now got the guy that recruited big here. It's different, I think, when you're talking about like actually something that's in a history book or in the records.
By the way, the ACC and Stanford effective tomorrow, actually, August the 2nd.
So technically,
well, that's too bad because I just changed Katie Ledecky's Wikipedia page to say that she defended her title in the 1,500-meter freestyle as an ACC athlete, setting a new Olympic record.
I'm going to go over there and redo that.
All right, that is in. is submitted for request.
Oh my gosh, man! I think it's fair for coaches to have ownership of like getting credit for players at different universities. I can live that life. Like I think it, on the early stages of Josh Heupel, Rodney Garner guys was a part of that recruiting spill that they were pouring out there. But no, his DBs or those guys, players do not belong to the University of X that they never played at. That's my stance.
You know, Katie Ledecky's middle name is Guinevere.
Wow, not just Guinevere.
Kathleen Guinevere Ledecky.
That's intense.
That sounds rich.
Sounds from the 1930s or something.
Sounds like Stanford.
That sounds like Stanford. That sounds like Stanford.
That's Ivy.
Sounds like noted ACC powerhouse, Stanford Cardinal.
She's 6 foot tall, too. This is a tall swimmer, man.
She's a larger lady.
Yeah, no, she's tall, legitimately.
All muscle.
The Genevieve it's a very rich middle name.
I might put this to a poll of fair or foul, the ACC claiming
please do.
Stanford. They did get community noted for this.
They did.
Okay.
Oh.
On Twitter.com, that they have been community noted.
Which means it's not fact, right?
No, it just means readers added additional context.
Oh, okay.
So it says, Ledecky graduated from Stanford in 2021 when Stanford was still in the Pac-12, and there are 2 articles that confirm that.
Would it be petty if she said shout out to the Pac-12 on the podium
so
next time?
awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'd love that for her.
I'd start the wave.
You usually don't give shout outs to your exes when you win gold medals. So.
Well, we still claim it. We went there at that point.
Yeah.
It's not your ex. I mean, it is. But no, it's not an ex because it's not even there.
That's real.
It's like a deceased.
That's real. Damn, Kayla.
Sad.
You had to put him to rest.
I mean, these your people.
Rest in power.
People. I know.
What else am I going to say? I mean, I could go try to start. I could try to be a commissioner.
Well,
I could do that.
You could. I mean,
Try
that's
to get the
just a lot of
Pac-12
money in that role, too. So, I mean.
Well, I'm starting my fundraising now. You can call us at 615-737-105.
the coolest thing is you get to fly on private jets. There's always that
And
part
you're going to get one. So
I get the first
perfect.
flight.
Coming up, second half of the show, hour number 3, Will Levis tells us where he feels most comfortable in the offense. How comfortable are we with where the Titans offense is through this point of training camp? We'll get into that in hour 3, coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, letting you know they just like me. Summer's over, okay? I know the heat is still here, but it's time to start getting ready for school. Even though the kids are headed back to school, you can leave the homework to Hiller. This month, enjoy back-to-school savings with offers like a $99 drain cleaning special they have going on, $500 off select high-efficiency HVAC systems, $500 off also on new tankless water heaters. They got a ton of deals going on right now. Also, if you're looking at as far as getting your house powered up, they got $1,000 off whole home generators. Again, a lot of good things going on at Hiller. Not just, the fixer-up things they can do around your house, but these deals will help make your house a whole lot better. For more details, also go to happyhiller.com.
You ever wonder why so many pro athletes go and use stem cell therapy? Because it works. I'm Ron Slade, retired 14-year pro basketball player, and I needed to get this done. After I went through my entire career riddled with injuries, I needed therapy. So I went to Kellum Stem Cell Institute out in Franklin. Why? Because they're the stem cell specialists. They can be yours too. They're the stem cell specialists of the Tennessee
Genesis
Titans.
Diamonds is opening up its vault with their largest GIA Diamond event ever. Starting Saturday for a limited time, all Genesis GIA Diamond engagement rings will be marked, listen to me, 20% down. That's 20% below Genesis' already unbeatable price. This means you can buy like a dealer buys with deep discounts on over $10 million in stunning diamond rings. These remarkable savings are on every GIA diamond engagement ring, from a half a carat to up to 20 carats. Yes, all shapes too. Rounds, princess cuts, cushion cuts, emeralds, oval, pear-shaped, doesn't matter. Remember, all Genesis diamonds are hand-picked, come straight from the diamond cutters, are graded by the GI, the most prestigious gem lab in the world. At Genesis, you know their everyday prices are unbeatable, but for this event, they're taking the vault to a whole new level with an additional 20% in savings. Don't miss this chance to save like never before on that exquisite diamond ring. So buy like a dealer buy, starting Saturday for a limited time exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. Listen, we'll limit one per customer. See them at Green Hills or Cool Springs.
What's going on? Just a hair before 8 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. We did it, guys. We made it. Football is on our televisions tonight, and I don't care that it's the Hall of Fame game. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Bears and Texans. Chicago head coach Matt Eberflus let you know there's not going to be any Bears starters, or you're going to see a Caleb Williams or a Keenan Allen or somebody cool like that. But I am perfectly content with a little Tyson Bagent action on my television tonight. Titans offensive coordinator Nick Holt spoke to the media yesterday about the progression of the offense after the first day of Titans padded practice.
If you look back and, kind of when we went back and watched the film, the beginning of practice kind of really felt that way. It really felt like the defense started faster than us, which we talked about as a unit. Hey, we got to start fast, meet their intention. They kind of brought especially those first 4 or 5 plays, and then it really kind of settled in.
Buccaneers, some breaking news as of this morning. Buccaneers and 3-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs reaching an agreement on a 5-year, $140 million contract extension with $88 million guaranteed, now making him the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. He now is contractually tied through Tampa through 2029. Dude's only missed 4 games in his entire career. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, and hour number 3 starts right now on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW 1045 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, Will Bowling. 615-737-1045 the number. And on the 1045 The Zone YouTube channel, Facebook Live, Twitter at 1045 The Zone, and Twitch as well. You can watch the program and join the comment section in the F&M Bank Chat. Going to talk a little bit about Will Levis, the Titans offense. We'll hear from him coming up in just a moment. I have got Olympic golf on this morning.
Nice.
Locked in. Tom Kim with a heater of a first round.
Oh, yeah.
From France. I believe he has 8 under. Representing Japan.
Their own play? Oh, Japan. I was
Tom
like,
Kim,
wait,
yes.
in France. I was like, wait.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Ron Slay does have an issue with you, Ramon, in the F&M Bank chat this morning. So there is a Zone TV commercial that now runs as of today where Ron Slay is wearing a Traylon Burks jersey.
I've seen it.
It was a good day to wear a Traylon Burks jersey yesterday, considering how good of a practice day he had.
He kept his composure yesterday.
You were apparently doing a live read here on the station while that promo was playing. Ramon, I have a lot of questions for you. The first of which is, how dare you?
Interfere?
Bill's got to be paid around her, Ron Slay, and essentially that's what I'm doing right there. I don't know what your people did versus what my people did because I got the best producer in the world.
Oh, so it's your people's fault. You're not going to take accountability?
No, you see what I'm saying? Like, I got the best producer in the world.
You're going to threaten me too?
No.
Come on, come at me, bro.
I got the best producer in the world, hey? So it couldn't have been an us thing. I don't know what your people did as far as putting it in the doggone script, but look, don't get listen. Don't get all high and mighty because y'all got Jim Nance coming in studio today, okay?
I'm so excited for that.
He acting brand new, man.
I might find a reason to be editing some audio in the studio next door.
Big
no,
get,
I'm not gonna
man.
do that.
No, you should.
I really want to, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be weird.
I'm just excited to see where these conversations go. Like, what will we be talking about in that hour?
So much.
Like, it's going to be crazy.
I'm so excited. That is appointment listening. Oh, what is it? 5 o'clock? Is that correct?
Yeah.
5 o'clock. Listen to Jim Nance on 3HL. I'm stoked. He is my favorite broadcaster maybe ever. I love the guy.
Yeah, Savage asked me, "Is like, what time do you want to go?" I was like, way before Jim Nance got to go on.
I know, right? You don't want to follow up
I
that.
cannot follow that.
No
okay,
way.
like what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, no. So, yeah, Bert Savage in here trying to slander you with the Fix It Bert going on and trying to say I talked.
That nickname is hilarious.
It is so good.
The funny thing is, it's Slay. The reason, Ron, that I didn't have the video up is because Ron said, let me know if you got any good question for Nance in the Boom Boom Room. So I was writing,
Slay voice there?
I'm writing your questions out that you asked me for. That's why I got to Fix It Bert.
Oh, look at Zeph in the chat.
And Joseph Panano has entered the
Zeph is
F&M
in
Bank
the
chat
chat.
on
Those
YouTube.
eggs need cooking, brother.
And he said, I would never do that to you, Slay.
Get back in that Cracker Barrel kitchen, make me some biscuits real quick.
Oh, my.
Don't fix your mouth
Virtual
apart
this
like
morning.
that.
First at the ACC rep, now it's just like telling Zeph to get back in the kitchen.
Everybody gonna turn on me. Like this is how. This is how y'all gonna play me.
He's acting like me now.
This is how y'all gonna play
I was
me.
going to say, this is very Ramon Foster.
Y'all used to
right
be
now.
better than this.
My boy. He's learned from the best. He's learned.
Yeah, y'all have in common your love for the Baltimore defense as well.
Hey,
I can't stand y'all.
I can't stand Baltimore.
I didn't do anything.
Good
I'm
morning.
just sprinkling salt in the pot here.
In the room.
I can't believe Zeph popped into the
That was
chat
good.
to defend his honor, man.
Look,
I know I'm
just-
about to call into Cracker Barrel and get that kid fired.
I'm
Hold
just
on.
trying
I was going to
to.
say, can we order some food?
I'm trying to get in 3HL's good graces because I just want to wave at Jim Nance. I just want to say hello and just say hello, friend. Singular.
Now, don't get arrested for stalking him today.
No, I won't. I'm very smart
We don't want that.
in the way that I maneuver.
By the time he gets to the studio, y'all need to have y'all own secret handshake with
No,
him.
Yeah.
I won't be
Yeah.
here. I'm not going to be that guy.
Why would you not be
I'm
here?
not going to be that guy.
Now I think you'll fool. You'll whole fool.
I'm gonna hide under the
That's
desk and scare
weird.
him.
You should be like all the fans out at Titans training camp and be like right at the gate when it opens and have your little autograph like
I don't want to encroach on their
golf
territory.
ball or
I
something.
would. I would, okay?
Right.
100% would.
I might text Dawn Davenport and get her thoughts.
Yeah, she'll tell you.
She will tell me.
Hashtag
She might text us right now. She's listening.
FIB. Fix it, Bert. Bert. Make it
Fix
happen.
it, Bert.
It has been
Hashtag
fixed.
fix it,
It
Bert.
has been fixed. I can't do this, y'all. I
This is
can't do this.
awesome.
I get it at home all the time. Fix this. Why's the sink leaking? Why's the shower clogged? Fix it. And then I come to work and I get the same thing from
fix
y'all. Y'all are supposed to be my peace.
Well, how about this? One of our devoted fans on Facebook Live has written in the F&M Bank chat and says, the more Bert gets worked up, the more he sounds like Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, no.
Robert Walsh, your thoughts?
What we need to do?
Patrick Mahomes used to call into the station.
It ain't
Remember
easy
that?
being green.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got to say. I don't sound nothing like Kermit. I don't sound nothing like him. I sound like Bert. That's what I sound like.
My dog.
Stand on it.
Come on, man. Don't do my dog. Y'all gonna stop at the hashtag FIB and my dog, okay?
Every time, for context, if you've never watched the show on YouTube, every time anything is not working with the program, anything at all, Ron Slay started the motion of Fix It Bert. And then that became hashtag FIB, which then devolved into Can Bert fix it? Yes, he can. Like he's Bob the Builder.
It, no one can.
What? Any rebuttal to this,
Bob
Bert?
the Builder.
We just got to catch. We got to kidnap Zeph. What we doing, man?
Listen, I'm cool with it. You know what? I'm cool with being the pin cushion. If y'all got to get your voodoo dolls out and plot on poor old Bert. Poor old Bert back here, sit back here in my old lonesome all day, just by myself. Don't nobody want to call or talk, say nothing to me. I feel like the grandpa that got stuffed in the nursing home. You know what I mean? Oh, y'all just come to me when y'all need a little money. Y'all just come to me when y'all need somebody to sign something. Oh, my right of refusal. Oh, do not resuscitate. Yep, I'm gonna sign that right now. Do not resuscitate me.
Are you of cognizant mind? I also count everybody out
now.
of your
You've
will.
been through this before. Stop it, man.
That happens. That's real life stuff right there.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God!
He gets a little extra love in the nursing home. He's that guy.
You do, and you know he's our dog.
Give me an extra tapioca pudding.
Exactly.
Tapioca. What?
On Twitter, we have asked the people fair or foul the ACC claiming Katie Ledecky as an ACC athlete after she won a gold medal. 78% of you say foul. So far, Kent writes in and says, Tiger Woods, greatest ACC player in conference history.
Andrew Luck, too.
Straight up.
Christian McCaffrey.
Jackie Robinson, a Big Ten athlete.
Cheryl Miller at USC. Yes, 100%.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers is an ACC athlete.
Yes.
Dude, the ACC just keeps getting better and better, man.
Keep naming guys. Reggie Bush. Anybody mention him? ACC
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He played in the ACC.
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
Reggie Bush should be the Big Ten.
God, he's young.
USC did not go to the ACC. We got to be careful, guys.
Oh, you're right. Golly, I'm switching conferences.
That was Cal
over
and
here.
Stanford.
Yeah, Cal and Stanford. That's awesome. Either way, fix it, Bert. I mess up, fix it.
Oh, God.
That's my last time. Until you change that, Baltimore's my favorite defense drop. Like
New opens will be in tomorrow.
Oh, I get excited.
Will they?
Oh, I'm not going to be here.
You not?
You're
I'm
not?
going. I got to go visit my brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did mention that.
Right.
He did mention
Yeah.
that. Oh,
So I'm a little scared.
Party on the East End, baby. Let's go.
Little scared on what's going on here.
Yeah, it always is
Tomorrow.
jarring the first time because we hear those for the first time when the hour begins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Should be good.
Let's party.
That's everyone's
8-10?
favorite. That's everyone's favorite
I just
of yours.
sound like the biggest airhead. And look, I've got my airhead moments. I'm not afraid to admit that. But that one was, that there definitely puts me in a category.
We're saving that whole little drop right there. Okay?
Yeah, that's 8-10, the new improved version.
I'm going to put in the new version of her
Yeah, that's
saying,
right.
It's a party.
I can't wait.
I am curious if you've got new Joe Hunk intros for us, and if you could add Coach Mack saying he was like a lost ball in field of tall weeds. I still can't believe Coach Mack said that to start our interview with him in the last
That was
hour.
awesome.
He said Joe Hunk is more lost out there than a ball in a field of tall weeds or whatever it was.
that ain't the most bless his heart moment.
I've known Coach Mack for 7 years now, and I still get a new Coach Mackism monthly, and I love every single one of them.
He will add one in every time.
He's as lost as that. Now I feel better because, like I said, my rookie year, Coach Larry Zerline told me, "You know how much you know? Zero, and you know less than him." So I was just like, Joe He's passed me up now. He's a ball and tall weeds.
I meant to. I meant to pitch my new one to him for when someone's just a little dumb. They're not really dumb. He's they're just some dumb, not plumb dumb.
See, I love mixing up the different sayings of like, he's not the brightest bulb in the toolbox, like, or he's not the whatever it is.
It's
like
all water under the fridge.
Exactly. Yeah, which does my fridge was leaking the other day.
Get two birds stoned at once. Like it's
that
mixing
one.
the two together.
You don't miss then, do
I feel like
you?
we're not going to top that one. 615-737-1045 is our number. Coming up, Will Levis says where he is most comfortable. How comfortable are you on where the Titans offense is with 9 days until preseason game number 1? We'll talk about that next. Hey, what's going on? It's Will Bowling. Are you looking to check some items off your home to-do list? Of course you are. My home to-do list, it's a little bit longer this time of the year. You might be putting off some projects around the house. Maybe you're just looking to freshen up your home's look before hosting friends and family for a cookout. Well, hey, available 24/7, 365. Lee Company can take care of all of it for you. The Lee Company home improvement professionals, they got you covered. Pressure washing your driveway, they can do that for you. Maybe it's your deck, drywall repairs, landscape lighting, painting, and more. Lee Company is truly all you need. You hear me say that all the time when I talk about these guys. Contact them today, 615-567-1000, a number that's easy to remember, 615-567-1000, or visit them online at leecompany.com to schedule your appointment. That's leecompany.com for all your home improvement needs this summer, 615-567-1000. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramon, Kalen, Will, RKW live on 104.5 The Zone in studio. I feel like Brent Hubbs is about to come on, listening to old country music. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Brent Hubbs tomorrow morning as Tennessee Fall Camp has begun, and we will get all the latest from him, as we do every Friday here on the show. Guys, how comfortable are you with where the Titans offense is at this point of training camp? Do you feel like they are on schedule, ahead of schedule, or behind schedule on where they should be on August 1st?
Me, I'll say this. With what they're doing in practice, they're on schedule. I always say the defense usually is ahead of the offense.
Why is that, by the way?
Yeah.
Because
Everyone always says that.
Less assignments. You can mess up on defense and still make a play. A guy can be out of his gap and a linebacker cover him up. There are no cover-ups really on the offensive side of the ball. Like if Calvin Ridley running a 5-yard out, but he runs a 5-yard in, and you got a cornerback that's inside leverage, that's an interception all day. That room for error is not allowed on offense in cases of miscommunication and stuff like that. It's 11 working as one. You got so many different units that have to work at one, whereas defense is a bunch of, I'll say this, but they also have a tandem that they work in too. But individually, you can make a play defensively that's not allowed offensively. Like the wide receiver, the quarterback have to be on the same page. The running back has to time up when the opening in the gap is going to be, as opposed to just running straight ahead and, hey, the defense stops you at the line of scrimmage because there's no hole right there, right? Watching yesterday, this Titans offense, by the way, are very this offensive line is athletic as heck. The way they are pulling guys. So if the tight end is supposed to block Arden Key, but he gets blown up into J.C. Latham, the room for error is way higher right there, considering Arden Key could just be coming up field and out of his gap, but you got a scraper of a linebacker and Jack Gibbons that can make a play for him. So the room for error is smaller on the offensive side of things. So I'll say this as it pertains to what I think they are. I think as far as the script goes, as far as what they need to be doing to see what's going to work and what's not going to work, I think they're appropriate for where they are right now. The things I think needs to be cleaned up. The flow in which Will Levis wants to throw the ball, as far as, okay, I've seen in practice, he has checked down to the running back and immediately the defense is right there. Now, again, these are things that,
yesterday, a lot of
game planning and being in the stadium may change the scenario up a little bit more when the element of surprise is there a little bit more offensively. Like when they're doing these things, it's usually, this is a passing period. This is a running period. This is a short yardage period. Those things are happening. So an offense can look bad. There's been times where we just completely got obliterated in camp by the defense, and we pop out having 30 points a game. I'll say this. There needs to be a better flow of completions and decisiveness after the first preseason game, Will. If it looks sloppy in the stadium, all right, now we need to start reevaluating stuff. One thing that I say also is, okay, where are they supposed to be at? Will Levis and the deep ball, right? Those are things that have to, let's get a fine sandpaper and smooth that off. All right, maybe let's not go deep often with this offense just yet. Those are setup types of things, but that chemistry has to be worked out. So it's appropriate, Will, from what I know as a player, on where they are as an offense. It's somewhat ugly at times, but we watched Hassan Haskins break one, right, for about 20 yards. We saw
Jabari Small had a 30-yard touchdown run as well.
That was a touchdown, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's been spurts of good for the offense. It's just usually you're going to have more success defense in camp, especially in practice settings.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to tell when you've seen what, 2 days of pads, and that's when we've been able to see the most work out of these guys. And so there's been a day where defensively they looked pretty good, and then it looks like the offense came back and kind of answered in a way. The consistency part, I agree with you, Ramon, and we'll see that first preseason game next weekend when San Francisco comes into town, and that's when we're going to see a real firsthand game game day scenario, because we already have heard the starters are going to play in this game. And I think that's where we're going to see, has Will Levis really taken the next step? Because that's how I look at this offense having success is Will Levis on track? And I think right now there's been some really good moments from him. And then there's been some moments where we're like, okay, maybe you didn't see exactly what you needed to see from that. But then Will Levis has also admitted he's taking some chances, like in certain situations, in red zone situations. Like he's trying to take some chances right now to see what works and what does not work. So then that's hard too to judge that. So I think overall, Will and Ramon, I think they are on schedule for the little amount that we've seen in full pads. But I think that the biggest telling part will become next weekend when we really get to see him going up against another defense in that situation. I think that's where we're going to see, is this offense on track?
You mentioned the timing, and we talked about that yesterday, and we did the segment a few weeks ago of what we wanted to see from Levis. Timing is important. Timing will also take time, no pun intended. Do you feel like Will Levis has met your expectations on where you expected he would be on August 1st?
I didn't know what it was going to look like, to say that, Will, because he didn't have camp last year. I knew he had the rocket arm. What I do like about what I've seen so far in training camp is the touch.
I completely agree with that, because I don't think I expected to see his mechanics, his accuracy, and his touch look as crisp as it does. I will say he has exceeded my expectations in that. He's not inaccurate quite a bit. I will say, though, that I think he's not met my expectations on some of the timing throws and some of the... It's still in his hand a beat too long. And that could just be me having unrealistic expectations. That's why I asked the question, because I still feel like the timing has got a good ways to go for Levis right now.
And even admitted that with even specific pieces like a Calvin Ridley, right? Mm-hmm. Like he even admitted that type of timing with the speed that Ridley has. He's got to continue to try to create that chemistry and timing with especially those top weapons. And he said that yesterday. That is a work in progress. That was just one specific, target I'm talking about. But yeah, Will, I don't think you're wrong on that.
So I see in the chat, somebody says the deep ball to Burks was nice. Here's the difference, I think, in that pass to Burks and the pass we've seen down the sidelines.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see, I thought the pass to Burks was on a line. Like, he didn't put much air on it. He just straight up delivered that one on a rope to Traylon Burks. And I think that's a good part of his game, or his accuracy as far as being able to deliver with that rocket arm of his on the line to Burks. Great play. Real big pickup for him. Where I kind of want to see, if we've seen Calvin really top guys releasing at the line of scrimmage, he's immediately got on top of the DB. Yep. I've seen other times where it's other wide receivers, D-Hop, right, beat his wide receivers down the field on the sideline.
Sure.
And he hits them with the moon ball.
Yep.
I'm not talking about one that's a straight line shot, a rocket shot, a rope shot. The moon ball that we love seeing guys go up and get those 50-50 balls, and D-Hop has been capable of getting those. Having Calvin really, his release at the line of scrimmage, y'all, is so good that if he gets on top of the DB, like, that's where Will Levis can't miss.
For sure.
He can't have Daniel Jones moments of missing those big opportunities right there, because they're field flippers. Even if you don't get points out of it, what you get is setting the offense back, or at least getting 3 points, or having the opposing offense having to go the length of the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's those things for me that I want to see the moon ball get better.
Yeah.
This was Will Levis yesterday speaking to the media when asked about where he is most comfortable at the moment.
I'd say in our drop back pass game series, like the main concepts that we really want to make the identity of our offense, I feel really good about that. And obviously that's the idea for us as quarterbacks, is to have those few families that we can really call at any point and feel like we have an answer and feel comfortable with. And I feel good about where we're at as a whole group with all of those. It's more detailed, like coverage specific plays that we just got to dive in on a little more, and then I can gain some more confidence on. Empty game stuff we can get a lot better with, and something that I think can be a really good weapon for us up front, protection wise, and just like for me, knowing my options and knowing where we can spit it out. But yeah, I just say that base drop back pass game has been pretty good for us.
So, Ramon, from the player perspective, when does the detailed coverage specific plays, when do those become in your opinion, more comfortable for Levis in the offense?
It's just going to be more reps, getting that one down the field where he gets a feel and a touch for it. I think he's figuring out what D-Hop's speed still is and what Calvin's is also. And it's on him to work on that in those pre-practice settings too. And those guys, I don't want to say at their age, but it's so many steps and reps that they can get. So if they can get to a point to where the detail of doing these things in practice before or after, and even in walkthroughs, where are you going to be at? This is where, when I say all the time, like everybody can play in the NFL. Like they can. There are some guys that are below below average. We know that to be true. But it's a matter of having the mental ability to consistently make plays and knowing what that feels like, knowing what it looks like, and not missing when you have those opportunities. Right now, as far as looking at the down the field plays, as Levis is speaking about, like you said, their base offense, I think is what we're saying, the dink and dunk, the quick out stuff. He's been concise, I feel like, for the most part.
Good. Yeah.
He's been very concise with that. You know, when you have a breakthrough and whether you beat your brother in basketball or something like that, like, oh, now I can do it. I don't think he's had consistently 2 or 3 of those moon balls in practice to where he can say, this is where we're at and how I need to go about it. That's why I say also, too, like designating who's your number one wide receiver or who's going to be a specific guy to go down the field in these moments is clutch. It's crucial for a guy like Will Levis, because if it's Calvin Ridley that's your guy, then find a different role potentially for D-Hop, right?
Okay.
You understand what you're getting out of Tyler Boyd and Traylon Burks and NWI.
Can't that be scheme specific though?
It should be.
But like route specific on certain kinds of routes. DeAndre Hopkins is your number one receiver. On other kinds of routes and other kinds of plays, Calvin Ridley is. I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all. Everything that we do is to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. It's not like you have a Justin Jefferson that's like, okay, everything Minnesota does in the pass game is to get the ball to that guy. Titans aren't in that situation.
They're not. But here's the thing about it, though, too, is having a guy who's going to get the lion's share of it to me. I do think at some point, if he continually trying to spread it or evenly around to everybody, you somewhat can't catch a rhythm with what Calvin does right. You can't really. No,
that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, and again, we've seen Joe Burrow do it.
Yeah.
Essentially in Cincinnati, right? But do we have those caliber guys here consistently now that we can say Will Levis is going to make it your 1 and your 2? Like, I'm not saying I don't know if Calvin really is Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase is super unique in how him and Joe Burrow's relationship has gotten built. I think when you look at that group, you say it's Jamar and then it's everybody else. And that's no disrespect to T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd in that sense. My thing for Will Levis is getting on the same page. If me personally, I think his go-to guy may end up being Calvin, because Calvin's extended out over the long haul right now. So building that rapport with him is something that's not going to hurt D-Hop. I think it helps D-Hop, because if I get Calvin going, I got to come to you. And at that point, we can start building the rapport up, too.
And that's what he has to work on the most right now, because we've seen early on, because Tyler Boyd has an advantage with this offense, he's obviously feeling comfortable. We've seen the connection between them, right? We already know the connection between DeAndre Hopkins and Will, because it happened firsthand in front of our eyes last year. Now, like with Calvin Ridley, we've talked about this timing and everything, and you're right. If this becomes not like he's the number one guy every single, game he's going to be getting the highest numbers, but you're right, he's got to start, especially now, being able to control that chemistry with him, getting the timing down, because he's got to have that ready game 1. And at least in training camp, we need to see that, I think.
I just don't think there needs to be a number 1 and a number 2.
Just like the running back position?
I think it's the exact same as the running back position.
That's fair.
I think you go with who's hot.
The numbers is going to show that, though,
because I do think there are certain defenses that will not have a corner quick enough to quiet Calvin Ridley in a game. Then I also think there will be certain corners in certain teams that are not equipped to beat DeAndre Hopkins to a jump ball. Based on the defense you are playing, you have a burner and you have a possession guy that can beat 2 different types of corners. And there are not a lot of teams that are going to be able to shut down both of them unless they can just get to Will Levis before those 2 guys can get open. And that, to me, guys, is still the struggle about this offense for me. How many of the good throws that we've seen from Will Levis would have been sacks in live settings. Because half the time Will Levis is finding Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook-Akine, or Tyler Boyd, it's because he stepped up in the pocket and Jeffrey Simmons and Arden Key are over the sideline saying, hey, Callie, that's a sack.
Right.
You got to give a sack on that one. But of course, you're like you said the other day, like you're not going to touch the quarterback because you need to allow the play to continue and for everyone to get the work in that they need to get in. From what my eyes have told me, most of the big plays we have seen from this offense have been on plays that at least have a 50-50 shot of being a sack in live action. And that's where I think the preseason game will tell us exactly where this offensive line is. Bill Callahan told us earlier this week, offensive linemen need preseason. Ramon Foster has told us time and time again, offensive linemen need preseason. I think we learn a lot next weekend.
Which will be interesting. Nicholas Petit-Frere is supposed to come back from rehab assignment, I think, today, right? And we're not Friday. I'm sorry. Yes, I keep thinking today is Friday. And I don't know, like we had this discussion, how soon he'll be thrusted into the moment. I don't know if he'll be playing in that preseason game. But you spoke about, some of the linemen in pads this week. John Ojukwu, the first day, maybe not so great. You liked his adjustments yesterday.
Yeah.
It's kind of a interesting.
And also I said this. I said two things as it pertains to John Ojukwu. I said the first week he had last week, they're going to have to pull this starting spot out of his cold, dead hands is what I said. But I also said I need to see what this looks like in pads. I've seen some encouraging thing and I've seen some very worrisome stuff also. Watching Harold Landry have a day, couple of days on him was bothersome to me because if in today's world of rushers, they don't necessarily have sides for the most part. And here's the thing about having a premier rusher going against a guy like John Ojukwu, they're going to pick him.
Yeah.
And what you don't want is another display of having tight ends and or running back ends to chip. I don't think we can talk about sets and what we've seen from him.
Not position specific.
Not position specific. But I've seen other things surrounding his jobs and tasks on the field that suggest to me there may be a different role. That's just my assessment of what he's done so far.
And there's been other guys working there.
He's done some good, but to say that he's the answer right there, I now change my stance and say, I don't know. And I'm with Will on saying that the preseason game, with all of us by saying the preseason games are going to determine a lot because I've seen players be trash in practice.
Okay.
I have absolutely, it's like, golly, we signed him? And then the Joker go out there and play really, really, really
So we got to wait a little more.
Again, the pace of the games is different than practice. Practice is a grind. It's a whole lot different the way you go about it. And I'm telling you this from a player's perspective that I can have a terrible week at practice and go out and have a monster day on the game day. And it shows in my grades from the coaches too. So those are the things that I'm wanting to see in those settings. And also even with the joint practice, it's still a spot to where he'll be judged appropriately because I'm expecting him to fight John Ojukwu, but I also won't know what he's still going to look like unless it's inside of a stadium. The stadium matters a lot, especially for a guy like him. To all our points, you can't hit the quarterback. Now, these pressures and almost sacks, and we'll see if they are actually real in a stadium because they will be live.
What is more predictive of success in your opinion? Guys, how they perform in practice or how they perform in preseason?
It's both. It is. But I would say this. Coaches can believe what they see in stadiums.
That's the tricky part to me is like which one of them matters more? Would you rather a guy be a good practice player for 5 days out of the week? Or would you rather them be a preseason guy that when everything is live looks decent?
But here's the thing though. Practice is also built for mistakes to be made too.
So I'd say preseason is more important.
Preseason is more important. I can live with saying, okay, I'll fix that tomorrow. Now, I did see John Ojukwu fix some things the next day, but I don't want to give too much to Harold just yet because he's still in the build-up phase too. But Harold has been a menace.
He has.
Yeah, he's been a pleasant surprise on someone that has looked excellent.
Lost 10 to 15 pounds, y'all. He's not even gained all that back yet because he goes, I'm not just gaining back trash weight. Like he wants the game back the right way.
That's a point.
Harold's been
Yeah.
a menace, okay? And that was worrisome for me at that right tackle spot. And it ain't just John Njoku. He has found his way to bend and get around and just touch Will Levis's hips and be like, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
615-737-1045. You can take it anywhere with us for the next half hour on what you want to know from Titans training camp. We've got until 9:20 to take your questions on everything we have seen over the last 2 weeks. Let's get you a little Olympic update coming up. I have been locked in on Gold Zone. I've been grinding Gold Zone over the last couple of days. You've got a GOAT back in action today and in a couple of different disciplines. We'll talk about that next. RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will on 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up hour number 3. The RKW Draft coming up in a half hour's time. 615-737-1045. Simone Biles in action again today.
Let's go.
So if you need me on Twitter, I will not be there because I would rather watch it in primetime than live.
Yeah.
And I have had it spoiled for me every time anything interesting has happened in gymnastics. If you need me on social media, I will not be on social media.
What time is it live? Do we know yet?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching them live for gymnastics.
I know.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to catch them.
Yeah, I was out of the house all day yesterday, so I was just I
They didn't
actually
go
watched
yesterday.
it. I just watched the Olympics prime time.
Yeah.
It was still
not
really
bad.
good because I didn't see all the results and stuff like that. I was excited to see Kayla Ledecky do her thing. Like that was a masterclass. in
Mike
what she did in
Tirico, by the
pole.
way, is smashing it.
I wonder how much is that
love him.
pre-recorded for him, especially on the prime time stuff. Like he said, like
I don't think at all.
He's live at
Right.
2 a.m. Is what you're telling me?
That's a good question.
think so.
8 o'clock.
I think so.
That's a great
But I
question.
don't know that.
I mean, he's a pro's pro though, so I'm
Yeah, he'd
assuming
do it, right?
I'm assume he's live. Yeah,
Women's all-around final today with Simone Biles.
and this is where she
can't wait.
crushes it even more.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
hope so. It doesn't seem like the calf's a problem anymore.
Nope.
Either that
At all.
or
She didn't even have a tape.
you find a way, baby, 100%. So
U.S. men's rowing won their first gold in 64 years.
let's go.
Sweet.
Shout out. Take that, Great Britain.
Right? Women's soccer's doing well.
They are. They swept the group stage. Got a little dicey at the end. I've watched almost every minute of all 3 of their games so far. Sophia Smith is just a stud. Oh my gosh! Like
Yeah,
if you
she
guys
is.
haven't watched them, they just beat down Germany on Sunday. Germany, who's good. Germany, not maybe the elite level, but Germany is solid. 4-1 on Sunday, and then they beat Australia 2-1 yesterday. Australia is solid. They've got a couple of Arsenal ladies whom I love. But no, they looked good yesterday. Mallory Swanson, Dansby Swanson's wife, has been excellent. Good to see her healthy, back from her ACL injury as well. But yeah, men's and women's soccer both into the knockout round. Tomorrow morning while we are on air, Walker Zimmerman and the U.S. men's soccer team will play Morocco, who has the best player in the tournament, Ashraf Hakimi, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain, PSG in France. And that is a big deal because Argentina finished second in their group. So Argentina and France play each other in the quarterfinals. That is a World Cup final rematch between Argentina and France, even though the teams are different. So the U.S. gets a better draw. There is a very clear path for the U.S. to medal in men's soccer, which I
That's
did not
big,
expect
dude.
coming into this tournament.
Let's go.
Is
Yeah, they
that
got lucky.
step again? This is different, so I'm not gonna. It's not. I just fixed my own question. This is different from the U.S. men's soccer team.
Yeah, it's under 23 plus 3
Right.
overage players for the men, and then the women's teams are all A teams.
Yep,
So
I fixed myself. Okay,
women's soccer a bigger deal because
right.
those are all the best groups, best teams. Men's soccer, you get a mix of young players and then 3 players that are over 23.
Soccer sometimes confuses me. Sorry, there's so much stuff that goes on with soccer.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine being like the 4th overage guy to not make it? They're like, "Nah, we want these 3 eldest boys." It's like, but I'm not good enough to be on the other soccer team yet. Well, you can't be on ours. Go home.
The tricky part about that is that they often have to go to their 5th or 6th choices because clubs often will deny them the opportunity to play. So you have like leagues that are in preseason right now because the Premier League season starts in 2.5 weeks. And a lot of times you ask clubs like, hey, we would like to have X, Y, or Z player who's in their, upper 20s or 30s, and the club can say no. Walker Zimmerman, though, was one of their first choices, if not their number 1 choice to be on that team. He was kind of led through that process and was made the cornerstone of that U.S. men's soccer team. So,
you guys were talking about Mike Tirico. Have you got to hear any of the AI Al Michaels updates?
No.
You can hear him
AI
through
Michaels.
You can hear him through the Peacock app. So he does a daily Olympic recap. Well, I guess he doesn't. His AI does. I am working to try to procure that so we can see if we can tell the difference
I would
between
love to
regular
hear
and
that.
not regular.
I don't like this, Bert.
It's so
I don't want you to
weird.
find this audio because I want to have a job in 20 years. If
I know,
AI
it's so
replaces
scary.
play-by-play guys, then your boy's going to have to go pro in something other than sports.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that, dude. I did not even think about that.
As usual,
Fun.
it's about me, Bert.
Think about the team, man.
When Al Michaels was asked about that, he was skeptical, but obviously curious. After the demonstration was done, he was in.
Interesting.
That is weird because he's getting paid a lot. That's why he's in.
AI Michaels.
By the way, my boo thing said all around starts at 11:15.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Keisha.
I will make sure to be off Twitter by 11:14.
I texted that to Ramon.
Of course you. Oh, sorry.
My little boo
Thanks,
thing.
Bert.
Ridiculous.
Is that what you have him in your phone as? Boo thing?
So ridiculous.
No, I
With a
don't even
kissy
have him in
face.
my
Yeah,
phone.
with a kissy face.
He's not safe.
Mwah.
One other soccer note. Last night, the BJ Callahan era started in Geodis Park. Nashville SC beginning Leagues Cup with a 2-0 defeat to Mazatlan of Liga MX in Mexico. Debut for Patrick Jasbek. New midfielder, played all 90 minutes, coming over from Viking in Norway. I expect Nashville to continue to be active in the transfer window through the offseason. Long process that began last night against a formidable opponent. Some good, some bad. BJ Callahan, after the game, was pretty honest in the assessment that there were some attacking things that he liked and some things where they've got to improve. So another defeat for the boys in gold, who are back in action Tuesday against New England Revolution. Have to have a multi-goal win to advance in Leagues Cup on Tuesday in Gillette Stadium.
You guys want to hear this, Al Michaels?
Yes,
Yeah,
too.
please.
Yes,
Let's go.
please.
Hi, Kelly. Welcome to your daily Olympic recap, your personal rundown of yesterday's most thrilling Olympic moments. Since you're a swimming fan, let's head right to the pool.
No.
Team USA secured a stunning victory in the men's 4x100 meter medley relay, smashing the world record. Over at the diving venue, Krista Palmer showcased resilience and skill, overcoming past knee surgeries to qualify for the women's springboard final. Meanwhile, a tough break for Canada's Pamela Ware as a failed final dive scored 0, ending her bid for the final. Check out these highlights from yesterday's action.
Nope. Doesn't sound right. Does not sound
don't
right.
hate it.
I don't like it. He said shorties. Like there's the way that some of the words are put together. Nope.
Wow.
They even have his breath in. Like you can hear him like breathing in before and after.
Yeah, you can tell that that AI has not had any vegetables either, like the real Al Michaels.
For sure. No broccoli in that diet.
Only cookies. 615-737-1045. Get it like internet cookies?
Yes.
I was there.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Get the hell out. You need to leave.
No, you know what?
You need to leave.
When I have a bad joke, I'll tell you, that was a good one. I've had a lot worse than that. I will again, probably on this show, have a lot worse
That's
than
like
that.
clapping for yourself or laughing at your own
News in
jokes.
the
No.
NFL, a new contract and all of the money given to a very big man. I will tell you about that next.
What's going on? It's Bert and Ramon from RKW, and you only get one chance to make a first impression. And with the first game of the NFL season tonight, you don't want to invite your friends over to have some whack chips and dip. You need to get the original hot chicken. That's Prince's Hot Chicken.
No doubt, and we know that's not whack, man. Bert, right now, man, they also have catering, okay? It may be called Prince's Hot Chicken, but did you know that they have a vegan and vegetarian option for you, too, like portobello wraps, chickpea salad, sandwiches, and more. Yes, they still have the chicken that you love and all the sides also. But here's the thing. Bert told you about those tailgates. You can have a catering session for 15 or up to 1,000 plus people. Yes. They customize anything for you, for high-end events to tailgating events. Prince's Hot Chicken got you covered. Simply go to princeshotchicken.com.
What a fantastic update. That was the AI Bert. You guys are going to have to stick around and listen to the real one. What's going on? Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Plenty of stuff going on in the NFL today. Buccaneers and three-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs agreeing on a new agreement, 5 years, $140 million contract extension with $88 million guaranteed. That makes him the highest-paid offensive lineman in NFL history, now contractually tied to Tampa through 2029. Wirfs only missed 4 games in his NFL career, and we did it. We made it. Football is on our televisions tonight. I don't care that is the Hall of Fame game. It is actual football. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Bears and Texans. Chicago head coach Matt Eberflus noted, "You might not see any Bears starters tonight, but I am perfectly content with a little Tyson Bagent in action. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone."
Fourth and final hour, Thursday morning. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, RKW on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, Robert Walsh making the show happen. The RKW Draft back again in 15 minutes. We are picking people in sports who are easy to hate. Mm-hmm. People in sports, a very broad term.
I can't wait for this one. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, not athletes, people.
People in sports.
Goes a wide array there.
Yeah,
that is
no
right.
Doubt. Yeah, I'm ready for this one. This one's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So fire up those hating muscles.
Let's go.
615-737-1045 is our number. Tristan Wirfs does not hate his front office.
No, he does not.
Mm-mm.
He has agreed to a $140.6 million contract extension, making him the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. $88.24 million guaranteed, the most guaranteed money as well for an offensive tackle in the league. 3-time Pro Bowler, was in the final year of his rookie contract. He is slated to play under the 5th-year option that paid $18.24 million this year, and his $28.1 million now passes the $28.0 million for Penei Sewell of the Detroit Lions that he got in April.
And now things will be resolved in San Francisco also, because that means Trent Williams will say, "Hey, I need one more than him." Man, good on Tristan Wirfs. He's hit for them. He's been consistent. He's been a first-team All-Pro, the Pro Bowler. He's checked every single box as it pertains to. And also, I'll say this too: he was a COVID draft pick too. He was a 2020 draft pick.
Oh, wow, really?
So in the world of team building and stability, Isaiah Wilson, had he hit, would be in this conversation right now.
That's mind-blowing. I didn't even think about that.
You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a great realization.
Look at one end and the other.
The other thing about this cat is he made the transition from right tackle to left tackle that very few tackles are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
And
What we're
played
waiting
the
on JC.
First 3 years, had a dude in front of him, wasn't able to switch to left tackle. Now he got his opportunity and played very well last year.
That's impressive.
100%, man. I won't question as much, but I just bring up the conversation of how did they find a way to hit with a guy like him? And we're talking 7 picks before Isaiah Wilson, as opposed to what happened here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing about it, same common ground on everything as it pertains to, he was a Iowa kid as far as them trying to find and track him down and talk to him. Iowa versus Georgia in that conversation. Now, he probably also had the grace of being under Tom Brady, also having the ability to be there, because that championship team that they had was very veteran savvy.
Veteran heavy, yeah.
Oh, it was veteran heavy, man. And that plays a part into the development of guys too. But it is fascinating that we're watching, and we've had this conversation about rebuilding this team. And Tristan Wirfs just cashed in as the highest paid offensive lineman ever in the same draft class, 7 picks before Isaiah Wilson.
It's interesting. I feel like there is just a good group of young tackles in this league right now. You look at Tristan Wirfs getting this deal today, Penei Sewell, whom we mentioned, Christian Darrisaw, who just got paid by Minnesota, Andrew Thomas in New York, who's gotten $23.5 million. So for every Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia, there is also an Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, who clearly was prepared to play in the league. Why do you think, Ramon, we are seeing this group? Is there anything extraordinary or unique about the fraternity of young tackles that are all getting paid right now? Why are they all so good in your eyes?
One, that starts with them being athletes. Every single one of these guys, I'm sure, had really good 40 times. I'm sure all of these guys were athletes that played multiple sports.
Is that more the case now than it used to be?
I think more.
Being more
yes,
athletic?
I think the athlete is better. Like, well, look at, I'll call J.C. Latham out. This joker is this big and he moves as if he was 320 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the concentration too on the development of offensive linemen has gotten a whole lot better. Like, big guys used to just get their stuff from their coaches. Now there are specialty coaches like Duke Manyweather and others around the nation that help develop offensive linemen with technique and strength and positioning and body and lean and stuff like that. That has evolved. Whenever I was coming up, it was, hey, go push the sleds, pull the sleds, and lift as much as you possibly can. Like, the idea that these guys was going to have footwork and all of this is they're coming into the league with this. We're now seeing almost every single 5-star go to college, 5-star tackle become a first-round draft pick.
That's a good point. And I don't know, in terms of even then continuing to develop at the next level, because I know with J.C. Latham, you pointed out he's just a freak athlete, right? With how big he is and the position that he plays. And I remember when I asked him about like Callahan and the way he is teaching and the details that go into it. He goes, I have been under some really good offensive line coaches going back to high school. He goes, but now at this level, what he specifically is bringing out and the details that go into it, like, he goes, I feel like I've never seen that before. So it seems like it's continuing too with some organizations who have gems like a Bill Callahan, which isn't all of them.
The concentration on getting bigs too is playing a big part in this. 100%.
Yep. Hall of Fame game tonight. Interest level is where? For a Hall of Fame game with no starters.
I'm a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, mid for me.
I'm a 6 out of 10.
Just because it's football, but it's not like the football that I'm really excited about.
Bears and Texans, 7 o'clock.
Right.
Because some of those guys we will see during the regular season regardless. Sure. And again, I want to be able to see and talk about the kickoff return and coverage aspect of things too.
Do you think we really get like actual strategies on that yet?
You have to.
I don't think you do.
I at least want to see the NFL version of it.
Sure.
Yes, that's my point. I want to see the NFL version of it because what is it, UFL or the XFL, whichever one it was, one of those leagues. They've been doing it. I want to see what the NFL is doing as far as, okay, now we get to see your style of it because they essentially took this one from those lower football groups there.
You guys are going to miss out on the biggest storyline from the offseason if you don't check in. The twin identical brothers, Jackson and Jaden Janke.
Oh.
They are both on the Texans. They are both at the bottom of the roster.
Amazing.
They're both catching a touchdown tonight.
Look at that.
Bet it.
Yeah, I was going to say, just give me something to, what are the wagers? What are the potential wage? Like, do we have a line on the Hall of Fame game? Of course we do. I just don't know what it is. All right, let's play name that spread.
Oh.
Let's guess the line for the Hall of Fame game. This is real sicko degenerate behavior right here. I'm going to start off the bidding. Give me, since Tyson Bagent has some NFL experience and is a little frisky.
I like him.
Last year as the quarterback of the Bears. Give me Chicago -2.5 is the line that I'm going to set.
I would probably throw it the other way with the Texans just because of the depth. Like they also have a young, frisky, long-necked backup quarterback in Davis Mills, but then backing
Mills
him,
Mafia.
Case Keenum's behind
That's
him.
true.
Tim Boyle is behind him. The straw that broke the Aaron Rodgers camel's back.
Of course,
he was upset that he could not make the practice squad. Wasn't kept to the team. I don't know. The Texans also seem pretty deep to me. Like their wide receivers extremely deep because if we're not going to see starters, you're going to see third, fourth, fifth string guys. Football. I don't know.
We're so back. We've never been more back.
-3 Houston.
Mine is -1. Chicago preseason game. It's going to be low scoring. They really can't tell. So Vegas is trying to bait you into the money pot. Where we at?
What did you say?
-1.
-1 for who?
Chicago.
Okay. Bert, just throw a number.
8.
8?
Oh, you just told me to say a number. I was just saying that.
That's most
You know
people
what?
say
I respect
7.
that.
100.
Give me a
say 7,
Ogunbowale touchdown. Anytime touchdown. That's what I'm taking.
Bears -1.5 is the line.
Oh, interesting.
Dadgum,
And
I'll take that plus money,
It's
baby.
in Canton, right?
Yes, in Canton, Ohio. Which, by the way, is in the middle.
Is it still the worst
Yeah, it is.
field of all time
They
that they
changed
play
it.
on?
No, they ended up resurfacing the field there,
that's
and
good.
they upgraded a lot because players were not all about. It was actually one of my former teammates, and it's public knowledge, sued them over that because he ended up having an ACL tear.
Dang.
Sean Sweesham is his name. Sean Sweesham is his name, and he ended
Say
up
that
having
4
a ACL injury from it, and it's a whole conversation
that's
behind
not
that.
good.
It is.
By the way, Teddy Bridgewater was the last starting quarterback to play in the
Yep.
Hall of Fame game.
Oh,
When was that?
2015.
Long time ago.
There you go. Oh, it was against you.
15, huh?
It was against you.
Teddy Bridgewater in 15?
Yeah. Vikings
Yes.
Steelers.
Ramon's like,
2015.
that couldn't be me. It wasn't me.
I played for 11 years. All those games run together.
Why do you do the math?
What are you talking about? I know what we're doing here.
Do you guys remember when the Titans were in the Hall of Fame game?
No.
Don't.
It was a
not.
famous clip because it was Titans Bills 09, and we ran a fake punt, I believe, for a touchdown. In that game.
Wow.
I want to say it was AJ Trapasso. Check me on that, Bird, if you don't mind. It was Titans 21, Bills 18. That was the AFL anniversary year. So they wore Oilers versus old Bills throwback jerseys in 09 for that game. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Adrian Trapasso, correct.
Thank you,
Look
sir.
at that.
Appreciate you. Really wish I knew what I was talking about.
Very cool.
The
Did he
first
make the
picture,
roster?
the first picture in the slideshow is Jeff Fisher just kicking his leg out.
Yep.
So excited.
Yep, man. Find you somebody that loves a special teams play to beat the Buffalo Bills more than Jeff Fisher.
Right?
That's petty.
Sounds
That's
about
so
Jeff
petty.
Fisher loves special teams as much as any head coach in the history of this league. That's
AJ
probably a bold
Trapasso
claim,
did not
but-
make the roster.
He did not make
Okay.
the
It was
roster.
also the year that the Titans played that first preseason game in the new Cowboys Stadium, and a punt hit the Jumbotron. I believe that was also AJ Trapasso.
According to his Wikipedia page, later in the same game, he purposely ran backwards into the end zone, resulting in a safety to run the clock out of the game.
Smart.
The John Harbaugh Super Bowl
Yeah,
play.
you can end a game on a safety.
They changed that now, though. You
Yep.
can no longer do that. The clock does not run or something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Look at you with the quick facts this morning.
Same preseason, actually. Literally same preseason. 09, Trapasso hit the Cowboys scoreboard as well, confirmed. Anyway, that was the AJ Trapasso year. And that was talking Titans football
And AJ
back in
Trapasso.
2009. I was 12. Coming up, the RKW Draft. People who are easy to hate. I'm going to be honest, guys. I came in here with an empty notes page
Oh, is
for
it
this.
full?
I figured it would just come to me. I probably got 30 names on this list.
Yeah, I'm in there.
It's a wide scope here.
I'm in
I'm
there.
not a very hateful person, but I have a lot of people on this list.
Sounds like it matches the week.
We'll
that we've
empty the
had.
clip coming up next. It's the RKW Draft on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. 615-737-1045. So the RKW Draft is a Thursday 9:20 segment into Summers. It will continue until football begins, where we all, in a snake draft, pick a topic and pick teams and have you vote on them in a poll that will be up for 24 hours after the segment is over. Last week, we picked current NFL dream teams. We all picked one quarterback, one running back, a receiver, and a defensive player. Kayla was 66% of the vote with the victory. Ramon, 12.9%. I had 12.1%. Robert Walsh in fourth place at 9.1%. This is the segment that will become the Thursday 3 once football begins as well, where, again, we need to think of some kind of punishment for the loser and reward for the winner of the Thursday 3. So slide in our DMs for ideas on that.
For winning last year, I would like protection from punishment this year.
Sure.
I would like a veil placed over me that would protect my hair, my eyebrows, my face. Similar situation.
Maybe the punishment, if Ramon finishes last again, is that he has to go through the entire offseason using his at the Ramon Foster Twitter account and not the Twitter account with 80,000 followers that he just got back.
I gained 2,000 followers while I was down, man. Big
you
time.
gained followers when you were down?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, my gosh.
Because people were still adding that account, thinking I was still using. But we back. We back.
They didn't look at the last tweet that you put out a year ago.
Crazy.
You probably added more followers in the time since you've not used that Twitter than the amount that I have total in my lifetime on Twitter since I got it when I was in 7th grade.
What? Did you really get it in 7th grade?
I did.
Oh, my gosh.
I did.
Proud of you, Will.
Had it before I was cool.
It's wild.
The RKW Draft is people in sports who are easy to hate. It's been a very hate-charged week at Titans training camps. We're going to lean into it. Caleb with the first pick, Ramon with the second. I will have the third. Bert will have the fourth. Snake draft, 4 rounds. Kayla Anderson, who is the person in sports who is the easiest for you to hate?
Yeah, and again, this is sports, not just like athletes.
That's correct.
You could go a lot of ways with this. So in some ways, I could pander greatly to the crowd and what I think a lot of people, would put on there with athletes specifically. But I'm not going to go that route because I could say I could go another route. And this is something I kind of feel, and I hate using the word hate, but this guy gets under my skin. And maybe it's because we had to deal with him a little bit last year in the Pac-12, but Mr. Deion Sanders.
Oh, I did not expect that.
You're at the top of my list.
I'm running to the podium right now.
That is interesting. I feel like there are people who will 100% agree with you, and then people who will 100% disagree with you.
But there's a lot of people who would agree with what I thought somebody would take next.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him, so I'm not going to say him.
I like the Deion Sanders pick personally. I've never been a Deion Sanders fan. Ever since he left a Braves playoff game to go play a regular season game for the Falcons.
Ever since he didn't give Kevin Byard any respect.
Yeah, that too.
What are you doing?
I raced to the podium. I raced to the podium for this pick.
Gosh.
Bert.
So quickly there.
With the second selection and the RKW Hater of the Year, Player Haters Ball, Ramon Foster and Team Faust select Skip Bayless.
That's a great pick. That was my first round pick.
That's why I was running to the podium.
That was my first round pick.
That's good.
Put mine up there.
Gosh, look at Ramon again, just hating on Vandy.
It's a 2 for 1.
How dare you just hate on the local school, Ramon?
I didn't
what
even
are you
realize
doing?
he went to Vandy.
Yes,
man.
you did.
I'd heard it for a while. Like I didn't relate him to Vandy. Yeah.
Gotta love that. I agree, though. He's annoying. He is very annoying.
We in there.
All right. A couple of different directions I could go with this. Again, I am not going to start with the first person that came to mind for me. I'm going to go with the second or third name that came to mind. This is someone whom I have had to deal with at the SEC level. Someone I have had to deal with in our division, the great division of the AFC South. Someone that I have had to cheer for when he played against Alabama and kept them from winning a national championship. But guys, through the entire process, Urban Meyer is very easy
good one.
to dislike.
Good one.
That's solid.
Urban Meyer is my number one selection in the first round of the easy to hate.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, man, you corny.
Thank you so much.
And that much more.
That's a solid pick. He didn't come across my radar, but yeah.
That's a really
you
good
ain't
one. I
wrong.
didn't think
Well,
about
he will
that.
come across your female's radar if you don't hold them close and away from him.
Watch out.
Where you at, Bert?
Robert Walsh, 2 picks in a row, sir.
Got the back-to-back here, and I did. These are people that I cannot stand for one reason or another. I just can't find, and I get along with most everybody. I get along with most everybody. So my first pick is a coach in the NFL. He is probably the most abrasive coach. He does not know how to win, nor does he know how to lose. Nick Sirianni,
Great pick.
head coach of the Eagles.
Boom.
I hate you. Yeah. I am not a fan.
I feel like he really quickly went from being like the cool,
motivated
young guy, like relatable, like, oh, this guy's kind of real, to just being very unlikable.
At the beginning, we just thought he was weird, remember? Because he had guys in like the combine doing rock, paper, scissors, and his opening press conference when he was so nervous. He had the biggest chaw in. Can't stand Nick Sirianni. Can't wait till he's fired.
I hate the way that you walk.
The way that you talk.
That should be a song. It is a song. It is a song.
That's K-Dot.
My next pick, a man that influenced the fashion of teenagers from all over the world, the man who is riding with a little lighter sack than the rest. He made everyone live strong. That is Lance Armstrong. How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you make all those bracelets so cheap and then I could buy them all and flip them on eBay when I was a senior in high school to make enough money for my senior beach trip. How dare you? I still have Live Strong shorts.
Forgot about that.
Man.
Live strong.
Yeah.
Quit doping, kids.
Michael Scott, Will Bowling, 2024.
Open kids, 2024.
All right, I am going to go. I'm going to go not to an athlete I don't like.
Oh, no.
Because I don't like this athlete, but I really don't like his brother.
Ooh.
Whether it's dancing on memorials of departed former football players, whether it is spraying champagne on fans in cold stadiums along with this player's wife, Jackson Mahomes.
Oh, no, yes.
Is my second round pick on people in sports who are easy to hate. Saying that Jackson Mahomes is in sports is a very loose term. The guy does not have an athletic bone in his body, which is impressive considering that his brother is perhaps the greatest quarterback of all time already at this point in his career. But Jackson Mahomes, I need infinitely less from. He is my number 2 pick in the people in sports who are easy to hate draft.
Some might even go with his wife. I mean, it's a lot of the family in there.
Yeah, she kind of grew on me through quarterback.
Did
I'm not
she?
going to lie. Like, I really do feel like they are legitimate high school sweethearts.
Yeah, I don't question that. I think some people think she's a little too much, though, in terms of
and I
involvement.
agree.
But that's their opinion.
I agree. But she grew on me a little bit. I feel like she was a bit more authentic and likable than I expected through the quarterback documentary. Jackson, there are no redeemable qualities, respectfully.
That's very true.
There's no way you can
Not even
respectfully say
TikTok.
that. However, I am going to try to respectfully say
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts.
Thank you so much. Ramon Foster.
That was good.
Pick number 2
man.
for Team False.
This guy has a lot of power and influence, and some of the people that he delegate and is over hate him too. He's done some good, but a lot of bad in his later years. Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jones.
Yeah.
If he get out of the way, a lot of
Absolutely
even
like it.
their
You are
fan
not
base
wrong.
say we'd be better off. Jerry Jones is in that conversation.
These are all great picks.
You're absolutely
Yeah,
right. I think
sure.
Bert would argue his stepdaddy is not on that list, but
He
maybe
didn't
I'm
pay
wrong.
child support yet
Maybe
to
he
Bert,
didn't.
man.
I don't know. I like
Bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you.
Yes.
I love these ads here today, Bert.
Dude, it's
Nice.
Chappelle Show. If you've never seen the Player
Player
Haters
Haters
Ball,
Ball.
Oh,
it's
I've heard.
probably one of my favorite skits of
by far.
anything he's ever done or
good
anyone's ever done. It's just so good.
Is that Rosie O'Donnell?
Somebody fill Smokey's mama's dog bowl back up.
All right, Kayla, you got 2 picks in a row.
Okay, so I thought about this and he got brought back into the conversation. I said, yeah, he's got to be on my list. I think every time I have a chance on this show to dog on this guy, I take that chance. So I can't go back on not putting him on my list. Mr. Aaron Rodgers, step up to the plate, sir.
Oh.
Step up to the plate.
ACC legend.
Aaron Rodgers.
ACC legend Aaron
ACC
Rodgers.
legend of Cal.
Caleb, for a while, he carried your conference over there, man. You got to have more respect for Aaron.
Stop it. We had Matt
ACC?
Leinart. All right?
He didn't carry the ACC.
You stupid.
The cable.
You got a second
I
pick?
got a second pick. Yeah. So maybe I'm reaching on this, guys, but I was trying to go outside the football, the main sports, all of that, because I did have a chance to cover a little bit of racing, during my sports career. And I know racing fans, they're going to be specific on who they love and hate. But I feel like all around, even people who aren't racing fans, they hear this name and they're like, yeah, we've heard he's not a good guy. He's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Busch.
I don't know much about him, but I believe you.
Yeah.
Talks a whole lot of trash. Starts a whole lot of fights. If you remember, I think it was a couple weeks, maybe a month or two ago, started a fight after a race where he didn't really even start it. He just got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was when NASCAR was hot for those 3 days.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ramon Foster, pick number 3, please.
I'm up, man. This one right here, he's just an agitator, but if he's on your team, you probably love him. But I think most of his teammates possibly hate him because he causes them to get penalties and stuff or fouls. Grayson Allen.
Great pick.
Grayson Allen.
Honestly, you could have just said white guys that play for Duke, and you probably would have also had a good pick there, too.
I mean, but I'm trying to keep the racism thing to it.
I can say that. You can't
say that. I'll leave that to you. But Grayson Allen, I watch him and get agitated. And the thing, he can hoop. He doesn't need to be kicking people. Come on, man.
It's like he embraces that.
Well, that's why he made the list.
Right?
I'm going to stick in the world of basketball since you've taken it there. I'm going to one-up you a bit on a guy who is even more hateable. He is a Big Ten basketball legend from the University of Oregon. He is Dylan Brooks.
Oh.
That's true.
The Drake line of bench players talking like starters, I hate it, could not apply more to a human being than Dylan Brooks, who is kicking people in places they shouldn't be kicked, who is walking in front of Anthony Edwards while he's doing press conferences. That's not even nearly the worst thing that Dylan Brooks has done. He is easily, and I don't watch the NBA, but I will like or retweet any Dylan Brooks hate. The guy is the absolute worst. Absolute worst. He made it much easier for me to be a Memphis Grizzlies hater, Dylan Brooks. So I want to thank him for that. However, he is very easy to hate.
You can come back to the Grizz now, though. He is on the Rockets.
I didn't even know. I thought he was on the Guangzhou Tigers or whatever the
he's
Chinese
good,
basketball.
He started 72 games. Well, the Rockets suck, but he started 12 points a game. He's not bad.
Also playing for the Canadian League team, too.
Oh, I know he's with Canada. Yeah.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
All right, Bert.
My last of 2 picks, back to back here. I got to go with a guy who I'm gonna spin it back. He gave us a lot of great moments. I'm not gonna lie. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. The Bronco chase. Hello, Twitter world. Dancing on the grave of his dead wife as he hits birdies at a golf course. O.J. Simpson.
Hello, Twitter.
R.I.P. Hello, Twitter world. I guess goodbye, Twitter world.
That's a good one.
O.J. Simpson.
Solid.
That's such a good pick.
He is my
Such
third
a good pick.
And my final pick. There are plenty of things that are tough to overcome in sports. You can overcome a bad offensive line. You can overcome poor shooters on your basketball team. You can even overcome poor clubs in your golf bag. But one thing no sports team can overcome is bad ownership. You can't fire them. You can't trade them. You can't ship them off to China. You're stuck with them until they don't enjoy playing with their plaything anymore.
Whoa.
That's why the worst owner in the NFL, David Tepper,
you took
puts
one of
his
mine.
grubby little fingers in everything. He has a bearskin rug of chest hair that he loves to show off at every opportunity. David Tepper, you, sir, need to go back to Wall Street. You, sir, need to go back to buying shorts and stop running a poor North Carolina is just maroon.
You're not even a Panthers fan.
I'm not,
That's what's so crazy about it.
I'm not a fan of Panthers or their fans. Their saying is keep pounding. I like to say keep pouting because you guys are going to suck forever. But that's neither here nor there. The Hornets suck. The Bobcats suck. The Panthers sucked.
Dang.
Michael Jordan's a terrible owner too, but we're not bringing him up. It's David Tepper. David Tepper. You're my final pick.
I was curious if you would go him or Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
but Tepper's a good pick.
Snyder's in that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I have so many choices here.
Right?
There's a lot of hate that's still on my board.
Hey.
I'm going to try not to go with the super local pick. I don't know. It's very tempting to go with the super low. But there's one guy on my list, too, that I maybe just have a very weird hatred of that is not actually that hateable. This is difficult. This is very difficult. You know what? He is a little bit more likable now. No, you know. Yeah. I'm going to go with my original
Talking
idea.
himself out of it.
I'm going to be a little bit creative here. But this was something who I used to hate, who I don't anymore. But I'm going to use their previous version. Travis Kelce before he met Taylor. Travis Kelce before he met Taylor Swift was not likable whatsoever. He's throwing his helmet because he's getting locked up by Dane Cruikshank on Sunday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. The guy pushes off on every single offensive play in the red zone and never gets called for it. He whines and complains to the refs just like his quarterback does. But ever since he met Taylor, I think he's actually become kind of likable. So I'm going to say Taylor, the pre-Taylor Swift Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Someone that I love to hate.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go home and put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
That's on me, man. I'll go quick one on this one because he was just good, and when you good, people love to hate you. And that guy is the player version of Tom Brady. I like him a whole lot.
Player version of Tom Brady.
The player version of Tom. I like him a lot now. I also had Bill Belichick on this list, but I like hearing him talk too. I could have threw Nick Saban on this list.
I know.
Thought about that too.
The player version of Tom Brady.
So pre-retirement Tom Brady.
Yes. And you know why it's very personal and close to me, okay?
Yeah. It is.
Stopped all those AFC championship games.
Yep.
I did not put Dave Clawson on there.
You gave him a break. We'll see about that. I was trying to go through because I wanted to mix it up in who I was picking. So I did want to do a broadcaster, but this is a culmination of his career of just being hated. And yes, he did play for one of my teams, but that made me hate him even more when he pieced out. Now he's a broadcaster and he still bothers me in the broadcasting side of things. That's Mr. Alex Rodriguez.
You don't like A-Rod?
No.
I'm with you. I can't stand
A-Rod. Can't stand A-Rod?
Nah, give me Big Papi on there. Give me Derek Jeter.
The Jeets?
But do not give me A-Rod.
A-Rod will take something that has nothing to do with him and make it about himself. Every single, and he'll be doing a playoff game. It's like, you know what? Joe Torre once told me with Derek and I that we should, this is the ninth inning of a playoff game, Alex. This game could end on a walk-off any second. That was the 2020 Braves Reds wild card best of 3. He was on the call for that. And it was the 10th inning of a Braves Reds postseason game. And he's out here telling Yankee stories that you should be telling in the 3rd inning when no one cares about the result of a game in July.
Yeah. And he just irritated me in his career. And he played for the Mariners and he played well. I mean, he was a good player, but he just always irritated me. Well, I loved Ken Griffey, but he irritated me.
All right. So our teams, people in sports who are easy to hate. Kayla goes Deion Sanders, Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Busch, and Alex Rodriguez. Ramon goes Skip Bayless, Jerry Jones, Grayson Allen, and Tom Brady. I went Urban Meyer, Jackson Mahomes, Dylan Brooks, and Travis Kelce before he met Taylor Swift. And Bert goes Nick Sirianni, Lance Armstrong, O.J. Simpson, and David Tepper. Wow. I'm just imagining all of these as lunch tables that you would have to sit at. Like, imagine sitting at a lunch table with Lance Armstrong, O.J. Simpson, David Tepper, and Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take my throne because I'm a shoo-in for Hater of the Year.
That's right. Haters of the Year here on this show. We will get to our undrafted picks of guys that we missed, and we will put up the poll on Twitter shortly here on RKW. Wrapping up the show at RKW 104.5 The Zone. The RKW Draft poll is out at Ramon, Kayla, and Will. At Ramon, Kayla, Will on Twitter, where you find us. The RKW Draft of people in sports who are easy to hate. So far, Mr. 80,000 followers, Ramon Foster, has 44% of the vote.
So he's winning from here on out.
Likely, yes. That is likely going to be the case.
I just appreciate you guys
Took
helping
advantage
me
while I
get
could.
back to having my account back. And I just made that right there.
Undrafted picks, go.
Dabo Sweeney, and it should have been my last pick. Hands
That is
down.
a great one.
Hands down.
Dabo Sweeney is a great one.
I had Patrick Mahomes because he's winning so much now.
Patrick and Brittany, you could have just drafted the whole Mahomes family.
I have also
sounds harsh.
movie character Ivan Drago.
Oh.
Wait,
He
what?
became relatable, though, at
Ivan
the end.
Drago.
Movie character?
Ivan Drago.
Oh.
Ivan Drago.
So we were pulling, I didn't even know we could do that.
Yeah, people in sports.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
guess
Eli Apple.
Oh, Eli Apple's great.
And my last one was Warren Sapp.
And Eli Apple a day brings an extension coming your way.
Yeah, I
If you're a
don't
wide
hate
receiver.
him because he's not relevant. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm not going to say he sucks. He plays in the NFL. He doesn't suck, but he has enough bad moments that I enjoy him messing up more than I hate him.
So that's my thing. He's so loud for what actually happens.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
dude that's barking once your boy knocks somebody else down.
Yeah, like you didn't even make the play.
I mean, his mama dropped him off at training camp the first day. There's pictures of it at Giants training camp. His mom dropping him off. So I can't hate on a fellow mama's boy like that.
That's fair. That's fair. Because you are yourself. You always have said.
Ramon Foster's at the top of my list. Just kidding. It's Floyd Mayweather was on there.
Conor McGregor also was on my list.
See, I'm Irish, dude. I love it. We haven't had nobody. We ain't had nobody do anything since like the potato famine, dude. So as soon as we got an Irish dude, we ain't even got cool pro wrestlers. We get Sheamus, who lives in Nashville, one of the owners of Nashville SC. We love you, Sheamus.
Absolutely.
That's all we got. That's all we got. We got the Great White North. That's it. Come
else
on,
you got?
man.
I'll go rapid fire here. On my list, Lane Kiffin.
Yep.
I did not pick him because I feel like enough people have changed their opinions on him that would not have been good for me.
That's true.
The first name my brother and I thought of was Steve Spurrier.
Okay.
But again, a little bit dated. Will Muschamp, he's just not important enough to make my
he's not
list.
important enough.
But
Not
when
enough
he
people
looked
know
at Tennessee and Neyland Stadium and said, I love seeing all these people leaving here disappointed. I love seeing you without a head coaching job, Will.
Hey.
Former Ole Miss basketball player Marshall Henderson. Again, a little bit of a deep cut, but that guy was the worst. J.J. Watt. No one has better camera awareness of cheesy cornball. We want to win for you, Deshaun. I'm sorry we let you. Nobody cares, JJ. You make everything about yourself.
He could have went on there easily.
Patrick Reed, the golfer, the villain of golf. He's a cheater, and then he lies about it.
Yep.
Draymond Green. Penny Hardaway.
Skip. I mean, Stephen A.
Yeah, that one, I feel like that one's
I know
hard
a lot of
too.
people hate Stephen A.
I almost went Penny Hardaway.
Penny.
Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew. Couldn't stand him. Juan Soto. Not a big fan, but he's kind of been
I like
better.
Juan Soto.
Olympic flavor, Russian gymnasts or Australian swimmers.
Yes,
hate them for 2 weeks every 4 years.
Russian cyclists also.
I don't know. I don't think I could hate any of them. They're all so beautiful. If you want to feel so
Also
inferior,
15.
if you want to, no, don't say
Put a
that.
mask on there, and then you can say it.
Maybe 12.
Who's the girl that got sponsored?
Hey, not like us.
Who's the girl that got sponsored by the cheese wheel?
The cheese wheel?
Can't help you.
Well, she's not Russian because Russian gymnasts aren't allowed to compete this year.
Oh, okay, well, good. Well, yeah, I hadn't seen any of them then. Y'all trying to make me sound like a daggum dog out here.
Somebody said Jake Paul.
Yeah. Rick
I thought
said,
about Jake Paul.
Rick on YouTube said Colin Kaepernick. Easy.
Oh, jeez. I was going to say, I thought someone would take LeBron just for the fact that he is polarizing as well. I like LeBron, so I didn't want to take him. But I do feel like a lot of people take the other side.
LeBron lies a lot, but that's okay. I still love him. Like I can admit that he is just a liar in the media a lot of times, but I still like him. Jack in Murfreesboro, who'd we missed? What's up, Jack?
Hey, Will, I'm pretty disappointed. I figured Joe Buck would be on top of your list.
I love Joe Buck.
You do?
I am a Joe Buck fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a Joe Buck fan.
But
Maybe
I
should
would
be
say
mine.
mine is Jack Collinsworth.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Jack.
Why is he on TV? Oh, that's right. Because his
The second half of his name. No, Jack.
I don't like him. I'm sorry.
I think Joe Buck is as good of a play-by-play voice as there is in sports. I think he's outstanding, and I think he's also grown a lot and has become a lot more self-deprecating and self-aware.
Somebody said Antonio Brown, and
it's great.
I think I almost feel sorry for him.
For who? AB?
I just
don't.
No.
I know.
He know what he's doing.
I was like, is his mind right? I don't know.
Rick also, to be fair, said Kaepernick or Tebow. So he played both sides of the political picks there.
Oh, my
Who else do we have?
Who else do we have?
Warren Sapp.
I did think about Dana White. Dana White physically abusing his
He
old
is
lady.
so annoying.
Yeah.
And also a poor boss. Like, doesn't pay the fair wage. Now he's cutting off increasing fight of the night bonus.
And he's doing this dumbass slapping contest too.
We got a lot of
he's streamlining this, man.
A lot of submissions for Vince McMahon, but this was a sports poll, so we don't.
A lot of people don't like Gary Danielson either.
Who's Gary
I've realized that down here, like being in SEC country for a while, that's not a guy they like. Gary Danielson.
I will not comment on that either way, but correct. That is a popular one.
Draymond, a lot of people mention him.
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
I was also texted Oscar Pistorius.
Oh, yeah, he killed his girlfriend.
He's at the O.J. Simpson category. Aaron Murray, another submission.
Oh, he's
the player David Pollock. He was a menace at Georgia. Even though you put up half 100 on him.
Yeah,
remember?
we did.
I don't like Jim Harbaugh either.
He's not on the game day anymore, is he?
There you go. That is the show. That is the RKW Draft. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning in studio once again.
Y'all hold it down.
No doubt. We will. We're going to try to.
Safe flight.
Yes, indeed. Hey, y'all must remember at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.